Freestyle.
Okay.
All right, man. Live with my boy PJ Hoops.
Yes, sir.
NBA draft is finally here. Feel like it's taking forever. Been waiting on this for a while. Some say the most stacked draft in a really long time. So really excited to see, who lands on what NBA team. So far, nothing too crazy. We all knew AJ DeBansa, Darren Peterson, uh, Cam Boozer was going to be the top three. Number one to the Washington Wizards goes AJ DeBansa. I'm a fan of it. We kind of all figured it out, that would probably be the move. Washington, a team that's actually turning it around compared to these last few years. Made a big trade for Trae Young and Anthony Davis last year. Got a young core of guys like Bilal Coulibaly, Keyshawn George. Hold on, with the second pick. DP number 2, baby. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Let's go. Okay, Utah. That's tough.
It says I'm live with it.
Bet. Let me
I think I'm live with it. I don't even
I'm
know.
about to see. I can check my I can get on my tablet and check your YouTube and see if it is.
Yeah, you want to check real quick just to double down?
I got you.
It says it is. Hopefully we got everything right. Looks like DP went 2.
DP just went 2.
Okay. I'm gonna keep it real with you. And I was thinking about this earlier when it came to, because it felt like earlier in the day that it was kind of most likely he was going to Utah. I really think, like now since they drafted him, I really do believe this is Utah's. This is going to be their best chance to win an NBA title.
I believe so.
I know people said, obviously they had John Stockton, they had Malone.
Yep.
But this young three-headed scoring duo that they got in Utah now with Keontae, Ace, and DP now.
Yep.
I think this is truly their best shot. Because let's be real, John Stockton and Malone didn't have a chance against Mike either time.
No, sir.
So I think this is really their chance.
This is I agree,
those
bro.
Three, man, that young core, man.
That's an electric backcourt, like you just mentioned, man. You got a guy like DP. You got a guy like George back there. Both guys who can score the ball, shoot with some of the best of them. Lauri Markkanen, Jaren Jackson, Walker Kessler. I'm in agreement with you. This is the best team on paper that Utah, the most promising Utah has looked since those Donovan Mitchell days, when Utah was in that second, third round in the West. So excited to see DP. I'm a KU fan, so get to see my guy ball out in Utah. Made some comments about how he thinks he's a point guard, so I'm interested to see how Utah kind of, handles that. But I think that's more so just him being confident in himself. Once the season rolls around, I think he's going to play mostly off the ball. Utah also didn't extend George. I think I read somewhere where he was eligible for an extension, but they feel like they haven't seen enough from him. So I'm interested to see how much, not that I think he's a selfish player or anything like that, but interested to see, how much of he goes into business for himself to make sure he get that contract versus, corresponding with a guy like DP. But I think they can make it work, man. I think they'll make it work.
I think for sure. I think they most definitely, like I said, that young three-headed monster. Obviously, it's going to take them some years, obviously, to develop chemistry because truly all three guys need the ball in a way.
Yes.
So I'm interested to see how they work that dynamic. And I did hear about the whole Keontae George thing. They wanted to see another year of him because they didn't have to necessarily extend him right now. They can wait until next year to do it. So we'll see if that comeback invites them, because God forbid if, let's say, Keontae makes the All-Star team this year, now we're talking about a rookie max. So Utah basically kind of rolled the dice on themselves and basically said, show me. So we're going to see if my boy Keontae shows them. But, yeah, I for sure think that three-headed monster, those young guys going into the 2030s, Utah's got something. I would say the most critical thing and something to just be mindful of as we move forward is that Ace last year, and even though Darren Peterson went back on his words, they both kind of voiced that they didn't want to be in Utah. So that's something just to be mindful of as they go along in their NBA careers, And these are two dudes, DP's from Canton, Ohio. Ace is from, I think, Chattanooga, I think Tennessee. Those are different places than Utah.
Very much so. Very much.
Just keep that in mind. But we good on my end. Can you kids everything good on that end for me?
Everything good for me, bro. I can hear you. I checked your YouTube. It's live on your end. It's live on my end. So we cool. Rolling, man. We are rolling.
Let's get it, man. Next is Memphis. Sean. I think consensus around Memphis is most likely Cam Boozer's coming off the board. Looks like Shams is saying something.
Yeah, I'm about to say we got Shams on TV. I think he kind of just going into a DP.
Oh yeah, my iPad's a little bit behind.
Oh no, you all good. While we wait for Memphis to announce that pick, Giannis Antetokounmpo traded to the Miami Heat. Blockbuster trade, something that's been kind of lingering on the internet for some years now. I feel like the last 2 seasons or so. Milwaukee finally gets a deal that they feel like is acceptable for them. Milwaukee sends out a haul. Jaime Jaquez, runner-up for 6th Man of the Year this past season. Tyler Hero returns home to Milwaukee. Kasparis, how do you pronounce his last name? The guard from Syracuse last year, the rookie.
You said, Kasparis Giacochonis.
Yes, him. I think 3 firsts, if I'm not mistaken.
Actually, it was actually 4 firsts.
4 firsts.
Yeah, 4 firsts, 1 second. Yeah, it's a lot.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot. But what are your thoughts about not necessarily who won the trade, but let's on just the Milwaukee side. How do you think the future in Milwaukee looks? New head coach, 2 top 15 picks in tonight's draft. They get the haul for Giannis. I mean, a lot of people are kind of saying that they lost the trade, but I think when we look back at this trade in 2 to 3 years and we see a really solid foundation built in Milwaukee, I don't think this trade will look as one-sided as some people are making it seem. What are your thoughts about this trade?
Honestly, I feel like it was I wouldn't say a fair trade, but fair enough. Again, they get 3 young players, and if you look at those 3 young – I didn't even count talent. I'm not even going to count Tyler Hero right now. But I'm talking about the 3 young guys they got. They got Jaime Jaquez. They got Khalil Ware. They got Kasparis Giacochonis.
Yeah.
Bro, literally all 3 of those players were Miami's first-round picks over the last couple years.
Yeah.
So it's not like – so they essentially got actually another 3 first-round picks with those 3 guys. Not to mention they're getting the 13th pick tonight. Plus they got another 3 firsts coming in a second. And if they decide, they can flip Tyler Hero probably for another 2 first, maybe 3 first. So it's not
which I've been seeing as a thing. They saying Tyler Hero could get shopped as soon as next month. So
yeah. So like said, it's just something to be mindful of. I don't think that trade was that bad. Obviously, what's gonna validate the trade for Miami is winning an NBA title.
Yes.
So we'll see. We gotta see, right? Like,
yes.
If they don't win a title, then Milwaukee wins by a landslide, right? Because Milwaukee, 100%. We'll see who they draft tonight. Because I'm gonna be real with you. I think after I see who they select, I'll be able to come on here and tell you, be like, okay. Yeah. I think Milwaukee won the trade. I need to see who they draft because I think tonight's draft, those 2 picks are going to be pivotal. And we're going to see. For sure. Because I've seen that they were trying to potentially package both of those picks and move up in the top 10. And we're going to see if another team ends up moving up because I know there's teams that are very interested in Marez Johnson.
Yes.
And there's teams in the 20s that want to move up to try to grab Marez. So does Milwaukee grab another young player from a different team and ship out one of those players,
Yeah, which is very possible.
I don't think this is done. I don't think what Milwaukee is doing, I don't think it's done quite yet.
No, I don't. I'm in agreement. I don't think it's over. And similar, if I'm not mistaken, to that Houston trade last year, started off with 2 teams, but once it was all said and done and the season got started, I think ended up 5 or 7 teams ended up getting involved in that trade in some way, shape, or form. So, like you said, I don't think it's over with. Like you said, I'm just piggybacking off of what you said. It's going to be very important for Milwaukee to get this draft right. If we're looking at players, Marez Johnson, like you said, that front court could probably use some work. Miles Turner is still in Milwaukee, so I'm not sure if he is looking to stay there long term. But I'm with you. I would definitely go Marez Johnson. I think you got to take a close look at LeBaron Philon. I've been a LeBaron advocate for a very long time now. I think him and Rollins would be a great backcourt. A guy like Kevin Porter Jr., I feel like is more fit for a 6-man role off the bench. I feel like that's how you can maximize a guy like Kevin Porter. Cameron Boozer just goes third to the the Memphis Grizzlies. Like we said, the consensus, we kind of already figured out these first 4 picks. We're going to assume that Chicago goes with Caleb Wilson unless something drastic happens. And then I feel like that's when we really get the ball rolling. And that's when, quote unquote, that's when the draft starts. The Clippers at 5, because at that point, I feel like it's not really you can't really pencil that pick in. Darius Acuff is the favorite, but then you think about it. Do you pair Acuff with Garland? Do you have two guys who are barely 6 foot out there at the same time? Could it work? Possibly, but
I think most
a lot of
likely.
things to take in consideration.
I seen something that basically said Keaton Wagler is kind of a lock for the Clippers at 5.
Yeah,
they keep the pick. So that's probably where they're gonna go. Where did you? We got to talk about this too while we waiting.
Let's do it.
So we need to talk about this Keaton Wagler thing because you didn't have him on your guards board at all.
I did not.
Where are you at with him now? So let's say he does go 5 to the Clippers. How do you think that fit is with LA?
Well, I think it makes sense. I think Keaton needs to go to a spot where he's playing off the ball as much as possible. I've been seeing a lot of naming him point guards, and maybe he did have the ball a lot in college. I don't think that's going to be his role in the NBA. I think he's definitely going to I definitely think you can maximize a guy like Keaton playing him off the ball, him hitting some long range shots, making you just spacing the floor, making you respect that jump shot. I do recognize he's a great player, but like you said, in my list, I had him closer to like 9 or 10 if we're just ranking guards as a whole, including backcourt players. And just for one thing only, I really don't see. So in college this past season, he had a lot of tough finishes around the rim. For his, the numbers don't look great, and I just don't really see a situation where that gets better unless you like add strength, add weight, and then I feel like that takes away from the other things that might have gave him an advantage at that position. Maybe slows him down. Maybe it can affect that jump shot when you start lifting too much weight. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's the only conclusion for fixing that, not finishing at the rim well, adding weight. But then again, I just think that takes away from what makes him potentially the 5th pick in this draft, which is the ability to score off the ball. What are your thoughts on Keaton and his fit in Los Angeles?
Yeah, I think Los Angeles, will probably be a pretty good fit for him because I don't think necessarily day one they're going to be asking of him to start. You know, they do have Ben Mathurin, right? So does Ben Mathurin slide into the 2? Do they continue to start? What do they got right now at the 2? I'm trying to think who their 2 guard is right now.
Let me see.
Is it Chris Dunn? It's Chris Dunn.
Chris Dunn, yep. It is Chris Dunn. So, the backcourt is Chris Dunn. They still got Brad Beal on contract?
Nah, I think maybe one. I think he has a player option for next year for like a low amount. But I think that is a good spot for Keaton Wagler, honestly, just because similar to you, I have him lower on my big board. I had him number 11th as my number 11th overall prospect. And it was because of things that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. At the beginning of the year, he started off the year really, really strong from just a shoot and split standpoint. But as the year waned on, his numbers dipped pretty substantially when he started playing, at least in my opinion, teams in the Big Ten that I deemed competition, and then also throughout the NCAA tournament as well. His numbers dipped pretty bad. His shooting splits, the last 16 games of the season was 41% from the field, 35 from 3, 77 from the free throw line, compared to at the beginning of the year where he shot 49% from the field, 45 from 3, and 81 from the line. And then kind of like you hinted on a little bit earlier, the turnovers, right? The turnovers. He averaged the highest turnover percentage amongst all these point guards / guards in the draft at about 28% out of the ISO. So lets you know he's not that good of an ISO player. I did say, and I feel pretty good saying, like, Keaton Wagler has some of the best footwork, and I think that's also what's enabled him to really get to his spots throughout college. But at the NBA level, similar to what you're saying, I think he's more of a shooting guard / point guard, you know? And it looks like Caleb Wilson just came off the board. And this kid right here, this might be the kid right here that has the true chip on his shoulder.
Yes.
If you just go back and look at what happened throughout college basketball this year, I remember early in the year they played North Carolina, right? He played DP. After the game, they interview him, and they were like, "Did you have any extra motivation tonight?" He was like, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, that guy on the other team," basically talking about Darren. He said, "In the McDonald's All-American game, he didn't pass me the ball." Like, come on now. And
why do you still remember that, bro? Like,
bro. And then against Duke, going into the Duke game and the pre-show, he talked about basically, Cam, I'm coming for you tonight, pretty much, right? Yep. And he goes out, scores like 18 in the first half, and at the first half of the game, he did look like the best player. Cam did kind of wake up the second half. Right. But this kid got a true hunger. I mean, elite motor. I told you guys, like, my player comp for him was a mixture of Giannis Antetokounmpo and Jermaine O'Neal. Yes. The kid has that Giannis hunger. He's going to play with a chip on his shoulder because I think in his belief, every time he's matched up against those other top 3 guys, he felt like he was the best player on the court, and at times he looked like he was the best player against all those guys, in my opinion. What are your thoughts about Caleb?
I like Caleb from an NBA player comparison. You said Giannis, Jermaine O'Neal. I agree with those two. I also see a little bit of Scotty Barnes. I think he's a little bit better with the ball in his hand than probably giving credit for. Now, I do think he has to clean up those mistakes, and I'm not saying that he is a point guard like Scotty Barnes would be, but just similar, a high motor. I feel like he get it done. He's probably the best two-way player in this entire draft, similar to a guy like Scotty Barnes. I feel like if we're talking about a ceiling for a guy like Caleb, I think we can easily see him as like a 19 points per game, 7 to 8 boards, a block and a steal. You know what I mean? A little bit of everywhere with it. Stuff in the stat sheet, some would say. But like you said, and to kind of play off what you said about when he got interviewed about DP and Boozer, he also had a list. So he was crossing off names. He had names written down. He had a hit list, bro. So like you said, bro, that chip on his shoulder, the fact that he remembered DP to pass him the ball, the fact that he took his time to make a hit list that these players, like when I play him, it's smoke. Like it's up. I think that alone can really position him to have one of the higher ceilings in this draft. Goes to a team like the Chicago Bulls. They get a new head coach in Thiago Splitter. I think he's a pretty decent coach for, what Chicago might need. A lot of foreign players on this team too. A guy like Thiago, he's a Euro. I think those type of coaches maybe relate to the foreign game better and maybe can implement those type of players. Buzelis is over there. Giddey is over there. That's a big team, bro. I think that's a long team. If I'm not mistaken, Chicago might have one more pick tonight or tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, in the back end of this draft. So we'll see. I've seen Josh Giddey was in some trade rumors, but I'm not really putting too much stock into that. I think he stays home in Chicago, like I mentioned with Buzelis on the wing with Caleb. Like you told me a few months ago, Caleb and Cedric Coward can make a hell of a defensive tandem if they ended up on the same team. I think him and Buzelis can affect the game in a similar way, but from a two-way aspect versus just on the defense side of the ball. So I like it, man.
Chicago.
Like
hey, man, I want to give a shout out to Bryson Graham.
Shout out Bryson.
Chicago's new vice president of basketball operations. What he's doing over in Chicago, he's building something for these fans to be proud of. Buzelis also has that same chip on his shoulder, similar to Caleb. I remember coming out of the draft, literally during the draft workouts, he literally called out Zachary Richiche and was like, I want to play you one-on-one, bro.
Yep, I remember that.
I think I'm better than you. I
remember that.
And he is better than him. And he was better than him. And I said he was better than him. Him and Caleb are about to play with chip. They're made, right? Like, these are Thiago type of players. I was lucky enough to obviously watch the Blazers a lot this year, being in Portland. And Thiago, to me, I think he's a good motivational coach. He's not a good X's and O's coach, in my opinion. So I was happy that Portland kind of let him go. But for like what you said, what Chicago needs, that is essentially what Thiago's going to bring to them. He's going to have these kids playing hard, tough, physical, fast. Yeah. And Caleb and Buzelis, that's going to be a two-way tandem as we go into the 2030s in the NBA. You can book that. And here we go.
I'm about to say, bro, I think it's Keaton, bro. He looked like he crying, like he got a call or something.
They said it's gonna be Keaton, so we're gonna see what happens.
His team did cancel that workout with Brooklyn. So, like you said, it looked like he might be going to the Clippers.
Yeah, it looks like it's probably potentially gonna be him, but yeah, Chicago's building something. Shout out to the Chicago Bulls and their fans, man. They got two guys that's gonna have that two-way potential. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be fun to watch the next couple years as Chicago build out. We'll see.
The NBA is better when Chicago's good at basketball, man.
Yeah, so we're going to see if Giddey's going to be the long-term fit next to those guys.
Yes, sir.
But those guys are their guys. Like, I'm sorry to Noah Esingeh, the first-round pick last year.
What's up with him? Did he play?
He might be coming off the bench. Huh?
I said, why did he didn't get a lot of run last year? Was he hurt or something like that? Or, I didn't watch a lot of Bulls basketball, but I don't remember seeing him.
No, you're good. Honestly, just he's kind of a raw prospect. He's not. I think he's kind of just a little bit raw. But here we go. They're about to come out and call it out. Let's see who they got. Word's been that it was going to be Keaton Wagler, so we about to find out who it is.
Here we go.
Yep. So it's Keaton Wagler coming off the board, and kind of like we talked to you guys about Keaton earlier.
Bob is crazy.
Yeah, I think that's a little rich for me personally. He's going to a franchise in LA that has Darius Garland, has Ben Mathurin, But Keaton, I'm assuming in the long term will be the starting 2 guard for this team. And maybe at a
Yes.
point, maybe they end up getting off of Ben Mathurin or Darius Garland or both of them and realize, like, hey, like, we don't want to pay these guys. These guys are just our gap guys. This is
Right.
our long-term guys. So something to pay attention to. And also with the Clippers, shout out to my boy Drip. My boy Drip's a Clipper fan.
Shout out.
The Clippers got a very nice young big man in Yannick. What's his name? Nausen,
The dude from Penn
Nauhauser or
State.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
he nice.
Yeah. He's gonna be good for them, man. Him and Keaton.
Yeah.
They're little building blocks. And Yannick was somebody that I was actually pretty high on coming out of the draft last year. He actually led the Big Ten in blocks per game. I think a couple years in a row. But yeah, I like Yannick for them a lot. I think
I like
that's
that.
their long-term center. This is their long-term shooting guard or point, depending how they use him. We're
Yeah.
gonna see if he lives up to some of these people's hype, because I've seen people have him very high as 5, as 3.
Yeah.
I've seen people have him as low as 15, 16. So we're gonna see. I think Keaton is one of the more polarizing players in this draft. Would you agree with me?
I would agree, man. I don't want to use the term boom or bust because I don't want to put the term bust on because it's not that I think he's not good at basketball, but I definitely think that sometimes we see in sports where the Clippers weren't the 5th worst team in the NBA. In the NBA, you do a lottery draft, so it's not based off in the NFL where it's the worst team to the best. So I think a team like the Clippers and Keaton Wagler can really benefit for going to a team that already has some stability. Started off the season slow last year, but picked it up and almost made the play-in. I think they went on a crazy run the second half of the season, once they got a legit lineup. Bradley Beal had some injuries. Kawhi Leonard started getting healthy and playing some basketball. So maybe Kawhi, some Kawhi rubs off on Keaton while he's still in LA. No telling how long Kawhi is going to be a Clipper. So I think he's around some of the right pieces. Like you said, he's on a team where he's not going to get thrown right in. Darius Garland, Benedict Mathurin, Kawhi Leonard. They're definitely going to, he's going to differ. He's going to favor to them for the shots. But as long as he can stretch the floor, hit some shots, I hope he proves me wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like you, I wasn't the biggest fan of him watching him. He's from the area, so I'm rooting for him and kind of, but
yeah, it's like the interesting thing with Keaton, like the reason why I have him lower than the other guys, really for me is just, I guess I just can't envision him being the guy.
Yeah, man.
I just can't. I don't know. I just can't envision it. So I felt like I was doing myself a disservice if I'm like, oh, I got to keep him super high up because everybody else got him. I was like, bro,
Yeah.
I just don't see that from him. And there's certain things, like I gave an example, like the pace he plays at is very similar to like Luka and Cade. The only difference is that these are guys that are much bigger than he is.
Yeah.
And is he somebody that as he gets bigger, can he keep that same skill and movement?
Right.
Those guys were bigger. Those are bigger guys, but they obviously can do what they do,
Yeah.
Can
We got
follow
a comment.
along that line and be like them?
I
Or is
didn't
he
see
somebody where as he puts on the weight, it gets tougher for him? Because Cade and Luka were not bad ISO players at all coming into the NBA.
Right.
He's a bad ISO player. He's not that good of an ISO.
That's not
guy.
his game.
He's really good at manipulating the defense. And what I mean by that, like in the pick and roll, he's really good at getting the matchup he wants and attacking that. And like I told you guys, I love his footwork. I mean, his range, the range on his jump shot is, I would say him and Mikael Brown Jr. have, I would say, probably the best range out of some of these guards.
Yes.
But yeah, there's just things that and then his personality, him dealing with the toughness. I don't know. I just couldn't bite the apple too much on him. That's why I have him at 11, lower than some of the other guys. But we'll see. We'll see what he does.
Man.
I'll be right back, okay?
Yeah, you all good. All right, man. Just to review these top picks that have happened so far. I'm late on the comments. What's good, y'all? My fault. I did not see those. They just popped up on my shit. Anyway, first pick, AJ DeBansa. He goes to the Washington Wizards, followed by Darren Peterson to the Utah Jazz. Cam Boozer to the Memphis Grizzlies. We got Caleb Wilson to the Chicago Bulls. Keaton Wagler to the Los Angeles Clippers. Brooklyn is up next with the sixth pick, followed by the Sacramento Kings with the 7th pick. I'm waiting for the OKC pick at 12 and 17. I'm trying to see what we finna do with these 2 picks, man, in the first round. But if I had to make a prediction on who goes to the Brooklyn Nets right now, they just acquired Julius Randle. Obviously, they had Michael Porter Jr. Jaeger Demon was a great 3-point shooter in their first round draft, one of their first round draft picks last year. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that the Brooklyn Nets need to go ahead and draft Darius Acuff out of Arkansas. As you can see behind me, I don't know, but the War Room seems pretty excited, like they got their guy. I think Brooklyn needs a true point guard. A lot of fans have been saying that they don't want to draft guard because Brooklyn has been drafting guard heavy over these last few years. I say you forget about anything that's happened over these last few years. If your team is as bad as the Brooklyn Nets are, you have short-term memory with what happened last year. You get the best player available. You get a guy like Darius Acuff, who was phenomenal at the SEC and the highest level of college basketball this past season. Michael Porter Jr. play off the ball. Let's see. Jaeger Demon off the ball. We'll go Darius. Ooh, Mikael Brown out of Louisville. Hey, man, I had Mikael Brown going higher than most people. I had Mikael Brown, though, going 9 to Dallas. So he goes, what is that? 3 spots higher than what I thought. Sacramento on the board at 7. I would go, I'm a Kingston Flemings guy. I'm a LeBaron Philon guy. I kind of thought that with Jalen Brunson winning the championship, that kind of brought some more life and respect to the small guard. Brooklyn thinks otherwise. Mikael Brown was a hell of a player this past season at Louisville. Unfortunately experienced some, I think he had like a bad shoulder injury, so we only got to see him in limited minutes. But when we did see him, one of the most electric freshmen in the entire draft class. Combo guard. I think I kind of, if we're talking about just play style wise, I think I compared him to guys like Monte Ellis, Bradley Beal. Can definitely handle the ball. But I think I kind of like him better off ball just because the value he brings as a shooter off the ball. As PJ mentioned a few minutes ago, Mikael Brown has probably the best range out of any of these shooters in the draft outside of guys like Isaiah Evans from Duke and some of the more specialist guys. But I like it, man. I'm in agreement so far with all these picks. I don't think we have any bad picks. With the historic draft, I feel like it'll be hard to even get a draft pick this early in the draft just because all these niggas can hoop. So, yeah, Russ, that was solid. Mikael Brown is nice. Very nice. A fun fact about Mikael Brown, played on the USA team. Hold on, because I wrote this shit down. Hold on. All right, man, we was not going long. The 2 people watching, appreciate y'all. The 1 person watching, appreciate y'all for staying tapped in while I went to go get my stuff. I had something written down about Mikael Brown, and I thought it was some pretty good information.
Who got Mikael Brown off the board?
Mikael Brown, man. I thought it was Acuff. I was sure it was going to be Acuff.
No, I would have told you no. So what's really happened was with Sacramento being next, Sacramento's front office, I think Scott Perry has a relationship with Darius Acuff, his dad.
See, I didn't know how real that was. Okay, so that's real.
No, that's legit. I think they went to school together or something, or they played on the same basketball team. So yeah, no, it was basically like Darius is going to Sac.
Oh, so he getting the keys immediately,
which is cool. And dang. So they're obviously about to announce it. So I'll talk about both of them in a second. Looks like they're about to announce it. And I guess their pick is in for Sacramento. But let me talk about Mikael Brown real quick. So
go ahead.
Mikael Brown was somebody. For me, I had his player comps as a mixture of Trae Young and Derek White, just nice. Offensively, those 2 players. And it was because to me, and he was 7th on my big board, he was somebody that I kind of went back and forth with a little bit because during the year, he played really bad against teams I deem competition in the ACC. Yes, he had his 45-point outburst against SMU, but SMU was ranked, I think, 100th in defensive rating, according to KenPom. But even during the year, like he had a really high turnover ratio, like assist to turnover ratio was really high. He played poor against Clemson, played poor against Duke, played poor against UNC, like against teams that I think had really good perimeter defenders. And even earlier in the year, they played against another team. I want to tell you, it was another program that had another like really good defensive like perimeter, but he just didn't play that well.
Clemson. Wait, did you say Clemson already?
Yeah. Okay. I said Clemson, but the thing about Mikael that like kind of was something I just couldn't ignore and why I kept him 7th on my big board is because in high school, he was the best guard. Like he looked like the best guard. And then when they were on Team USA last summer, It was
Yeah.
him, AJ, and like a plethora of other these 5 stars. I
Hoa
think Cam
Pete,
was on that team too.
Marez, Stokes.
Yeah, they were all on the team, and I
Yeah.
felt like he should have won MVP at that
Yes.
tournament. And I was
Yes.
on the record. I said it. Like, literally, I came on my stream and I was like, bro, Mikael Brown should have won MVP over AJ. But they only gave it to AJ because of what AJ did in the championship game.
Yeah,
Like
because
that was
what
literally the only reason.
didn't Mikael lead the team in like points, assists? Like he led the team in a lot
He
of
was the
different major
most. He had the
categories.
most like efficient numbers on the team, and he was
okay.
first in points and assists. But AJ wasn't that far behind.
Gotcha.
AJ's was less efficient though, you know, and he just had a better championship game because he did have a better championship game.
And I guess that matters.
Still, Mikael's 7th on my big board, and I'm excited to watch him. Where's he going again? I forgot.
Brooklyn. He's about to go with hey
so
man.
that's going to be interesting because
Julius Randle, Michael Porter, boy.
They got Yegor Demin.
Jaeger Deming,
They got Noah Eshinge.
They about to be shooting the rock.
Noah Eshinge. No, it's Nolan Toyati. They got Nolan Toyati. They got Ben Saref. They got Yegor Demin. They got a lot of guards.
There you go.
Yep.
A-Cuff to Sacktown.
Yep.
I like that though, man. I really like when really bad teams get a solid player who like is not ashamed to go play for that team. Like we see a lot of times, like you mentioned earlier, some players were vocal about not playing for Utah these past few years. For the laughing stock, you know, that's been labeled the Sacramento Kings. I really like the fact that Darius A-Cuff and his people were like, let's go. Let's turn Sacramento up. I'm all for it. Throw me in the fire. Give me the keys. I think I'm good enough to turn this thing around. He gets to play with guys like Malik Monk. I like Maxine from Renaud. We went to Stanford last year or something like that. Yeah, I like him. So he's got a big that I think he can function out the pick and roll with. Like I said, Malik Monk. Russell Westbrook, I think, is a free agent, but I don't even think that would be a bad mentor. I'm higher on Russell Westbrook as a basketball player.
That would be an amazing mentor.
I think that would be great, bro.
Bro, honestly, like Russ off the court is he's just a great human. Like,
teach him the ropes, how to move as a vet, you know, teach him how to be an NBA player. I mean, you got guys on the Sacramento Kings, DeMar DeRozan.
He's leaving.
He's leaving. I did see the buyout. Is it a buyout?
What's going to happen is, they're going to buy him out and extend his contract. And from what I heard, most likely DeMar DeRozan's going to go sign with the Clippers.
Oh,
yeah.
So we'll see at the crib in LA, ain't it?
Right. But I think, look, with Darius, I've been on the record all the way back to November. I said Darius A-Cuff to me was the best point guard in college basketball, and he didn't disappoint all year long. Was consistent. I kind of had to convince you about him because I know you were kind of like
you had to put me on. You had to put me on.
He's that, but. Even going back to when him and your boy battled, LeBaron, I watched that game from start to finish. Those are two guys. People are going to go back on that game and be like, dang, how did we miss that? You know, but Darius all year long at Arkansas was the offensive engine. Let me put this in context to you guys. So Darius at Arkansas averaged close to 7 assists. The next closest teammate was 2.5 assists, and that was Leak, who's probably going to go later in the first round tonight.
I hope he does, bro. We'll get to him later. Go ahead.
So Darius led them in total points, led them in total assists, led them in total free throws made and attempts. He was asked to do a lot offensively for that team, and he ended up breaking, and don't quote me on this, but I think he broke the SEC record that was held by Pistol Pete for like first freshman to lead the conference, I think in assists and points or something. Jeez. So Darius – I know people look. They just put up the Pistol Pete graph too in the back.
Yeah, you crazy. You right on time.
But I think Darius, we'll see defensively because that's obviously the biggest question mark with him. Mm-hmm. But that also could have been a byproduct of just the offensive load that was asked of him.
Yeah.
So we'll see. That's something I'll be paying attention to. But his player comps for me was a lesser athletic version of Derrick Rose mixture with Damian Lillard. Sacramento's got a guy that's going to rep that city. And I think Darius A-Cuff Jr. will be better for the Sacramento Kings than De'Aaron Fox was. That's my hot take so far.
Okay, and I'm not mad at that, bro. I'm not mad at that.
That's my hot take thus far, man. I might drop another one later on. But I think A-Cuff is really going to elevate that franchise. Obviously, they got to build a team around him. Yeah. But I think he's a great building block for that team. I think he's a great 100%. Building block for that team.
And let's hope that Sacramento doesn't ship out another great guard that they drafted, Tyrese Halliburton, De'Aaron Fox. Let's hope that they keep Darius A-Cuff in Sacramento, like you said. Great player. And I'm with you on that. After I kind of went back as the season ended, we've had some months to go back and watch these players more closely, or just kind of, hindsight is 2020. And like you mentioned, the offensive load that he was carrying is more than enough an excuse as to the poor defender he was, in my opinion. Just because I've been watching a lot of these guys pre-draft workouts and stuff like that, and I watched Darius Acuff these last few weeks, and he's very aware that I got to get stronger. I got to build my conditioning up, because that's not going to be an excuse in the NBA. Not that he used it as an excuse in college, but we need you to be great offensively, but we also need you to come play some defense. You're not the only player in this league that's going to have a heavy load, and we ask to play some defense at a high level. Now, with him being in Sacramento, unfortunately, very opposite of Keaton Wagler, he's going to get the keys instantly, bro. So I think we do got to give him some grace on the defensive end, just because of what we're going to ask him to facilitate, initiate other players. He's got to learn the offense, because he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot of the times, which I feel like is a lot more difficult than learning the offense if you're on the wing or, play in the post or whatever. I think he's very capable. Coach Cal, doing what he's supposed to do. Very high on Darius Acuff. Believe he should have won the Player of the Year this past season in college basketball. Had a legit argument. Led Arkansas to a SEC tournament win with a very short team. He himself was experiencing foot injury, so he wasn't the healthiest. Coach Cal even mentioned in the era where a lot of guys shut it down, or I'm not going to play today, a la Mikael Brown, Jaden Quains, Darren Peterson. Darius Acuff was in a boot one day, took the boot off, and went to go play the next day, even though it wasn't against AJ DeBansa and the number one pick. So Darren Peterson's going to feel better and play for that game. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter who the competition is. Like you said, Darius Acuff is going to rep Sacramento. You got a player in that jersey who wants to be there, and I think those are the first steps in creating or turning around this franchise. So we got go ahead.
1,000%. And I think like with Darius, he was the best floor general for me in this class. It was so prevalent to me earlier on in the season. And then even like kind of what I hinted on earlier to you guys, how I think him in Sacramento, I think he will be more successful in Sacramento than De'Aaron Fox was. I do, because when you think about it, Fox made the playoffs once, and he won what? Did he make second team All NBA or third team All NBA?
Third team, and I think that was on the back half of the tenure. That was when it was almost
so that's not much to beat, right? One All NBA selection and one playoff appearance. Acuff, I believe, is going to be better than that for Sacramento. They just got to build the team around him, and it's going to be interesting to watch. And also, I got a question for you, actually. Let's talk about Sacramento as a franchise for just a brief second. Do you believe that Doug Christie, how long do you think Doug Christie is going to have in Sacramento?
I do think that he should get the year. He's a player's coach. The players have spoken highly of him, and I'm one of those guys where I don't fire coaches, especially if I don't think there's a strong enough candidate to hire and do a better job than the person that we just fired. Tom Thibodeau is available. I don't think Doc Rivers is going to jump right into coaching. I wouldn't get Thibodeau, honestly. That boy might get Darius Acuff a torn ACL playing 40 minutes every night, but I would keep Christie, man. I would at least let him see how it goes. Let him see how he manages Acuff. I'm also like I said, I'm not one of those guys that'll be like, we need to win now and ignore what the roster looked like. You know what I'm saying? So I want to see how he develops Acuff. I want to see how Acuff develops under this coach, because I feel like that's definitely where Sacramento is going to kind of pick if they keep Christie or not. We got Atlanta with the pick in. Brain Berries. Kingston Flemings to Atlanta. That is a great pick. Great pick. You want to give your thoughts on Kingston before I go in? Because Kingston was one of my guys.
Do it.
All right.
That's you.
All right. Kingston Flemings, guard out of Houston. You said you believe that Darius Acuff was the best floor general, if I'm not mistaken, in this class. I think it was Kingston Flemings. Ironically, we've been talking about De'Aaron Fox a lot, and I think Acuff is right behind him. I don't think it's far off. We mentioned a guy like De'Aaron Fox, who I think he resembles a lot. Ironically, both of them are from Texas, so he has a relationship with players like De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Maxey, those recent guards that come out of Texas. Similar play style, really quick first step. As you just seen, hug teammate Chris Sinak, who I think is going to come off the board soon too. But you also mentioned Derek White, who I think Kingston Flemings showed some flashes of just from the two-way aspect. I kind of compared him to guys like Drew Holiday, Derek White, De'Aaron Fox. I think he's, like I said, the best playmaker in the draft. Very low turnovers. I think if you are the lead guard at Houston, that says a lot. Houston has put a lot of lead guards into the NBA. Now they're not putting superstars into the NBA, but Marcus Sasser, who Who's the other point guard they just put in? I'm blanking. Davion Mitchell went to Baylor. But they've done a good job at putting guys in the draft lately. Kingston Flemings goes to Atlanta. I think that is a great place for him to be. Dyson Daniels in the backcourt. CJ McCollum just got re-signed. Nickeil Alexander-Walker. So for as much as of an initiator he is, I don't think the pressure for him to make plays and get guys involved will be as urgent as maybe Darius Acuff in Sacramento.
No, that's fair. That's fair. And
What
for
are
me,
your
I had
thoughts?
Flemings. Yeah, I had Flemings 8th on my big board in totality. 6'4" point guard with a 6'3" wingspan. I know that I ain't gonna lie to you. His wingspan threw me off.
Yeah,
when I
that's
seen him
my
at the combine.
Yes.
I was like, oh, that hurts. That hurts a little bit.
Before
But
you go
Kingston
into that
Flemings,
question,
go ahead.
Playing off what you just said, and the floor is yours. That short wingspan, did that throw you off because of how generational this class has looked measurable wise? Like we've seen everybody 6'3" with 6'8" wingspan. I think Darius Acuff got a 6'6", 6'7" wingspan or something.
Yeah, he got
like
a 6'7".
So, but yeah, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's crazy.
No, you good, bro. It honestly, it just threw me off because of how good of a defender Kingston is with his hands.
Yes.
Like Kingston's, to me, out of all these point guards this year, strictly because I felt like last year LeBaron was a really, really good defender, but this year kind of slipped.
Right.
Kingston Flemings is the best defensive one out of all of them, in my opinion. I would say him and Braden Burries, but Burries is really a shooting guard, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's a 2 guard to me as well.
Yeah, but Kingston Flemings is right there with, I would just say him and Burries, right? I would say those two. Those are the best 2 defensive guys out of here. So it threw me off when I seen how small his wingspan was.
Yeah.
The thing about Kingston that I really like, and his player comps for me was a mixture of Tyrese Maxey and CJ McCollum, but with better defense are his player comps for me.
Nice.
He was somebody that, for me, was just very good and competitive on the defensive end. He was really bouncy. He's extremely
he'll
bouncy
punch
guy.
on you, bro. If you sleeping, he'll punch
decisive.
on you.
Yeah, quick, decisive. And I do I won't say he's a floor general necessarily, but I do think he's an underrated passer. Because his assist to turnover ratio was amongst the best this year. It was 3-1. And I think he just didn't have the opportunities for a couple reasons. One, I think Calvin Sampson just is not an offensive head coach.
True.
I think also his teammates, Chris Sinak Jr. and Tugler, those guys were clogging the paint. Even though Chris Sinak, I like Chris Sinak's jump shot form, and I think Chris Sinak can stretch the floor. Throughout the year, he just struggled shooting.
Yes.
So that clogged the paint for Kingston Flemings as well. And then also he was sharing the backcourt with Milo Uzane and Emmanuel Sharp. So I just feel like they didn't really give him a chance to really show his playmaking ability. But I do like Kingston Flemings, and it's going to be good for him. He's going to Atlanta, right? That's where he's headed?
Going to Atlanta. Before we move on to Dallas, because it looks like they pick is in, if y'all have not seen Kingston Flemings play, go watch his game against Texas Tech where he had like 40, 42, gave Christian Anderson the work. Now, he's a smaller guard, and I feel like that might not, that's not saying too much because I think even Darius Acuff gave in. I can't think of what guard, but I've seen Chris Anderson get cooked up a few times, smaller guard. But we might see his name get called in the back end of this draft. I like him as a player, but that 40 against Texas Tech also played solid against Arizona, that being Kingston Flemings. I agree with everything you said so far.
Yeah, I would say the one caveat about him and why I had him, I guess not low on my board because I have him 8th. But the reason why I didn't have him in front of the other 3 guys is because to me, I don't ever see Flemings becoming the guy or like being the man on a team, like being the best player on a championship team.
Yeah, me neither.
Or being the man necessarily, being the face of the franchise. I don't see that.
Yeah.
So he's going to a great place in Atlanta. And then also his 3-point shooting. He doesn't take many threes. He only takes about, I think, 2 a game, maybe 3 a game. I think he needs to get that closer to 5.
Yeah.
And throughout the year, he shot 39% from 3, but in the SEC, he only shot 33% from 3. And it looks like Dallas's pick's about to be in. You want to turn up the TV a little bit?
The 9th pick in the 2026
It should be Braden Burries, probably.
Morez Johnson Jr.
Dusty May went and got his guy. Hey, bro.
Morez.
Oklahoma, call up right now and go get Braden Burries, bro. Make it happen, bro. He's falling. I had him going 5, bro. So the fact that we had 10, Milwaukee on the board, and he's still there.
Look,
man, let's go get him, bro.
I heard teams were jockeying for Morez Johnson.
You called it before.
This is kind of a shock to me a little bit because I thought Dallas was going to go with another guard to take over for Kyrie in a couple years. But they went with another forward. Morez Johnson is ready to play day one.
Yeah. That's a dog, bro.
He's ready to play day one. He could have, like, no BS. He could have played in the NBA Finals on the Spurs or the Knicks.
Yeah.
Morez Johnson is ready day one, and he sacrificed a lot.
And I'm not going to cap
playing with Yaxel and Adayamara.
Yeah, transferring, and I'm not trying to over exaggerate. Shout out Dusty May, he gets his guy. That's somebody you put on Wemby next year, bro. That's somebody, you know what I'm saying? That's somebody that's gonna guard Wemby. He played hard. He grabbed the rebound with 2 hands. He played defense. He can run the floor. Once he learns the NBA game, Dusty May got a familiar coach, so obviously Dusty's gonna play him. He's playing with Gafford Lively. Now they might move on from Gafford, but I like that he's gonna play the 4 at the NBA. He's a little bit on the shorter side.
It's gonna be him. Yeah, Cooper's gonna be the 3. He'll be the 4.
Lively at the 5. Kyrie at the 1. Max Christie at the 2.
Defensively,
yeah.
Going into the 2030s as these guys go into their prime, that's gonna be
that's a beast, bro. Because Lively's still young,
be one of the best
bro.
defensive front courts in the NBA.
Cooper, and I like
Lively and Morez.
That's beastie, bro. That's beastie. And I was kind of looking at it, and tell me if I'm wrong or if you might disagree with it, because it's kind of just like an idea that I had. But Dusty May, unexpected. We know that Dallas was on to your Duke guy at first. That was their first pick for a head coach. He decided to stay loyal to Duke. Shire, is that his last name? John Shire, head coach for Duke. I know Dallas wanted to get him. He says no, so they get Dusty May. With Dusty May having so Michigan's team last year was built on a lot of older players and a lot of transfers. I think that made the transition easier for a guy like Dusty May. It's not like that team was built on a bunch of recruits. I think Elliot Cadeau and that other guard are really the only 2 returning players for a guy like Dusty May. So I kind of figured, I wanted to know, like, how much do you think him coaching older players last year, him winning the championship, the team, a lot of the team going to the draft, do you think that made it easier for him to jump to the NBA? Because it kind of happened quicker than I expected. 3 years ago, he was at FAU, bro. Surprising the world at FAU. Now 3 years later, he's got Cooper Flag, Kyrie Irving, and Morez Johnson on the Dallas Mavericks. What are your thoughts on Dusty May and what he could possibly do in Dallas?
Yeah, no, I think honestly him and Dallas, it's going to be interesting because going from college to the NBA, coaches don't have good track records, okay? I think the only ones that have done pretty well is Billy Donovan. Yeah, Billy Donovan and Brad Stevens, you know? Yep. And then, I would say probably those 2 main guys. Rick Pitino tried it, didn't work out too well. Coach K, they were trying to get Coach K to do it. Coach K didn't bite that apple.
He wasn't done.
So I think Dusty May in Dallas, we're going to be interested to see because I feel like Dusty May is more of an X's and O's type of guy. So I'm just interested to see how he does in Dallas. Because at Michigan, they had an NBA front line against a bunch of, people that just going to have bachelor's degrees and go work in an office. So we're going to see. We're going to see. I'm interested to see. But I think what's most intriguing to me is them drafting Morez at 9 because
bro.
That was my idol is Mike Schmidt. And he's in their front office now. He's their new general manager. And that's the dude that really got me into wanting to pay attention to high school, college, international basketball. So for me, this was a Mike Schmidt pick right here is Morez Johnson. And also Dusty May, of course.
Man, I'm excited, bro. This draft is really good for the NBA, bro. And this is a sidebar. For the last 2 to 3 years, we've been hearing how the Euros and how the non-Americans are going to take over the league. There's a lot of players in this draft that got something to say about that from the American side. We got Darius Acuff, an American point guard, AJ Debinsa, Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer. I don't know, don't at me on this, but I don't remember when was the last time we had 5 or 6 straight picks of Americans. It's always been one of those Euro guys. We seen Ricochet, Wemby, that's at least the last 2 years. But yeah, man, I think it's pretty interesting how a lot of these American players are kind of trying to take the sport back over after we've been hearing. I mean, the MVP hasn't been American in how long? You know what I'm saying?
Man, hey, where did you have Morez on your big board? Where did you have him?
I had Morez going to Charlotte. What is that, 13 or 14?
You had him 13 or 14.
Yeah,
well, I'm talking about
Charlotte
big board as a prospect.
Oh, as a whole. Oh, I had him 12. I had him right outside the top 10. I had him second as the Michigan guys. I had Yaxel first, so I'm a little surprised that Yaxel didn't go to Dallas.
Yeah, they said he was going to slide. They did say Yaxel was going to slide. So
Braden Berry's before Milwaukee puts their pick in, as an Oklahoma City Thunder fan, we got Aiden Morrow still on the board. We got Braden Burris and Yaxel Lindenberg. One of those got and LeBaron Philon. One of those 4 players will have an OKC jersey on in about 5 minutes. Can't wait to see that. What do you think Milwaukee, or what do you think the best move is for Milwaukee with pick 10?
Hey, look at that. But hey, man, the Don, man,
back to back.
They have Rich Paul on the thing, man. Rich Paul making that magic happen. You heard?
Yeah. Do you think we see some trades possibly?
I don't know. I think it's looking like Milwaukee's probably debate. They probably were not expecting all these guys to still be on the board.
It's some stuff on the board.
If I'm being real, like
yeah, bro, it's some heat on the board, bro. I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna lie. If you take a handful of these players and put them in last year's draft or the year before that, we still might have some top 5 picks, bro, as far as like talent wise.
Yeah, they would probably go a little bit higher for sure. I wonder. I'm thinking Milwaukee.
What is he doing?
It's going to be interesting because Milwaukee is a team that they have Ryan Rollins. You know, obviously Kevin Porter is a little older, but still pretty young. They got Tyler Hero now. Do they go guard or do they go forward right now?
I go LeBaron Philon with the 10th pick, get Hero out of there.
Nah, it probably won't be. It's probably Burries or Ament.
Let's see. Braden Burries.
Yeah, sound about right. So think about that. So Milwaukee's future backcourt, Kasper Shakachonis and Braden Burries. That's the future backcourt. That's what it's looking like. But don't forget, Milwaukee's first round pick next year is either going to go to New Orleans or to Atlanta. And then the year after that, for 28, 29, and 30, it goes to the Portland Trailblazers.
Ooh.
So we're going to see what Milwaukee does because they're going to pick again at 13.
Yep.
I think most likely at 13, they're probably, if he's still on the board, they're probably going to take Nate Ament at 13 if he's still there. But the next team is the Golden State Warriors, and we'll talk about them in a second. But Braden Burries, let's talk about Braden Burries briefly.
Let's do it.
Burries, for me, was a player. I had him player comped as a mixture of Jalen Suggs and Devin Booker was his player comps for me. Physical on both sides of the ball, NBA-ready body. He's ready to play day one. I think quietly he's a better playmaker than what he got a chance to show because he was really sharing the backcourt with Jaden Bradley at Arizona. And then even the offense, the way they used him offensively I don't think it was really fair to him. A lot of his baskets came off of either assisted spot-up shots in the fast break or like dive into the hoop. And Burries, to me, is actually better on the ball, like shot creating for himself and maybe even for others than what he got a chance to really show at Arizona. So I think also probably some areas where he needs to improve on is demanding the ball more. I felt like really in that Michigan game in the NCAA tournament, he didn't really demand the ball as often, at least as I would have liked to seen him do. And then also continuously, like with regularity and consistency, leveraging his body and his strength to create his own shots. I felt like there were too many times where he just settled for a three or he did a really good job when it came to shooting his mid-range ball and getting to his spot in that way at times. But I just felt like he could have done more, you know? Like, I really feel like Arizona – I feel like at Arizona he should have been more demanding of, like, this is my team. I'm going to take us there, you know? Because he physically has that, I think, ability to do it. I'm interested, to see how he does in Milwaukee because that's going to be a place where he's going to have an opportunity to just learn. And it's a quiet place, you know? It's not going to have
not too many distractions.
Yeah. Hey, at U of A, Tucson, party town. Now you're going to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Okay, it's a lot more relaxed. Okay? Not the same distractions that there are in Arizona, man. So Burries is an interesting one. What are your thoughts on Burries, man?
Best guard, not DP in the Big 12 is what I had labeled for Braden Burries. Past season, averaged 16 points, 4 rebounds. I like a lot of things you said. I also had him comp to Devin Booker. But instead of – who was the other person you said? Devin Booker and –
he was a mixture of Devin Booker and Jalen Suggs.
See, I had Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Devin Booker. So I think we were kind of on the same page with two-way guys who can play some defense. I think Braden Burries, like you said, with Jaden Bradley on the court, I think that just the limited offense, I think, ruined the way people talked about Braden Burries up until this process. A lot of people were like, we agreement that he is a two guard, but I do definitely think he can do some things with the ball in his hand. That'd be creating his own shot. getting some people involved. He averaged 2 assists on the season, but with minutes with Jaden Bradley off the floor, that jumped to almost 5.5. So his assist totals nearly doubled with Bradley off the court. I think proving our point that he can get guys involved as a facilitator if he is the quarterback of that offense at the moment. Jack of all trades, a pest on defense, sneaky with the ball. If you get caught sleeping, he will dunk some, can shoot the ball. Kind of reminds me of a free safety if we're doing football terms on defense, quick instincts, got the wingspan, the lateral quickness on defense, so that can kind of help make up for some moments where he might get caught sleeping or the offense just was the better offense at the moment. Against number 12, Bama, 28 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, went 5 for 10 from 3 in 34 minutes, so showed the ability to be able to hit the long ball effectively, but also do things like rebound the ball, which is one of my favorite underrated stats from a guard who can go get the ball off the glass. Against 13 BYU, even though he wasn't guarding AJ DeBansa, 29 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. If you look at the box score, if you're just a box score watcher, you're going to constantly see Braden Burry's 5 rebounds, 4 rebounds, 6 rebounds. He's finding ways to get himself involved in the game without scoring the ball. A powerhouse like Arizona with Koa Pete, Jaden Bradley, maybe they didn't need to lean on him as much as a scorer, but in the NBA, I think he'll definitely show. Similar to Devin Booker, who came off the bench in college. Hindsight is 2020, but I'm not saying he'll be a Devin Booker level, but I think he has a really good chance, and I think Milwaukee will give him a good chance to display what he's best at. And you got Ryan Rollins, who can kind of be on the ball until Braden Burry's, gets comfortable with his NBA game. We got Golden State with the 11th pick. Not unless you want to touch on some of Burry's again. Where do you think Golden State should go with this pick?
Yeah, I mean, with Burry's, I don't really have anything else to say. Like I said, I think it's him just learning to be being more aggressive, being more assertive. I said, physically ready. He's ready to play in the NBA day one. He will be 21 in September. So just something to be mindful of. But I think going to Golden State, fast forward to Golden State, Mr. Yaxel makes probably the most sense here for Golden State. I wouldn't mind, if I'm being real with you, I wouldn't mind seeing Golden State take LeBaron, because I think what he could do for Steph, longevity-wise, giving Steph a few more years and creating shots for them, I wouldn't mind that. But I think most likely they're going Yaxel or Adaya Mara here. Most likely it's going to be Yaxel or Adaya, which makes sense, right? Because Yaxel's, they're both ready to play now. So
and then what people aren't talking about with Yaxel, you get Jimmy Butler as a big bro if he gets over there to Golden State. So a guy like he had a good workout with the Warriors apparently. So what were you about to say about Nate Ament though?
No, yeah, Nate Ament's probably somebody that's most likely probably about to go 13. He's probably going to go 13, and I'm guessing OKC's probably going to take the latter half, right? Like if Adaya Mara or Yaxel come off the board here with Golden State.
Whatever Michigan guys available, we do.
Yeah, that's who probably OKC's probably going to take most likely.
The Spurs. We cannot let the Spurs get Adaya Mara. I've been seeing that mocked like the last 2 days. Hey, man, the league better not let that happen. We cannot let 2 7'3" dudes get on the same team that are that good at basketball. So I'm hoping that OKC, like you mentioned in the text message the other day, we do have Thomas Sorber, who's coming back from an injury. Looks like we're going to re-sign Isaiah Hartenstein. We're going to probably pick him over Lou Dort because I think we're kind of in that window where it's either Lou Dort or Isaiah Hartenstein.
So as OKC, what about – because maybe they need more perimeter, right? Because
LeBaron.
They don't know Lou Dort. What about Cameron Carr or Dalen Swain?
Dalen Swain, bro, kind of like Keaton. People had to sell me on a Dalen Swain, not even for OKC, but just as an NBA player. Mm-hmm. Guards and wings that don't really shoot the ball well. Not that it can't be fixed. Jaylen Brown didn't come into the league as a great shooter. Marcus Smart didn't come into the league as a great shooter. Both of those guys had the benefit of going to Boston. But if I'm OKC, man, we haven't re-signed Cason Wallace. I think we will do that, but that isn't set in stone. So I can't think that we assume that he'll be here in the next 2 to 3 years, especially if he wants more money making these defensive teams. Lou Dort looks to be out the door. We got rid of Aaron Wiggins. Looks like the Miami Heat.
You want to turn up the TV for this? Yeah. Yaxel makes the most sense.
Yaxel.
You want to finish your thought, and then we can talk about his fit with the Warriors.
Yeah. I'll wrap that up. I think OKC, I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of people are expecting us to go big. do not be surprised if OKC goes and gets a LeBaron Philon. That could be me just vouching for my guy. But Cameron Carr is who I had us taking with our second first-round pick. He provides what we need: defense, shooting, athletic ability, can run the floor. Yaxel Lindenberg is with the Golden State Warriors. I'm about to go to the bathroom real quick. I'm going to let you do your thing on Yaxel. I'll be back before the pick is up. I'll probably get my thoughts, and then we could just keep it pushing.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it. I'll take it over.
Bet.
So with Yaxel, Yaxel Lindenberg, 6'10", small forward / power forward. I had him player comped in kind of a mixture of – he's kind of a Swiss Army knife. I think he's a mixture of like a Christian Woods and Aaron Gordon. Physical. He's a physical player on both sides of the ball. I like him probably as like a third or fourth ball handler. And I mean, he's going to Golden State, so that I think is going to work seamless. He's going to be a seamless fit in Golden State. I think things for him, which in Golden State, he might not have to do too much, but continue just improving, shooting off the dribble. In Golden State, they're probably not going to ask too much of shooting off the dribble from him, maybe. But him as a second or third ball handler in a lineup for Golden State just makes a lot of sense to me here with Yaxel. But the next team up is Oklahoma City. And with Oklahoma City, I'm thinking, like I kind of told him, I was just getting his opinion on it. At this point, like, I mean, Morez Johnson's gone. Do you go Adayamara? Do you get another big man because you don't know how many more years you want to extend Isaiah Hartenstein? Do you do Adayamara and just go with him and Thomas Sawyer moving forward? That's what I'm kind of interested to see what OKC does here at this pick. Or if you're OKC, do you go with a wing? Do you go with a Cameron Carr or a Dalen Swain at 12? Or do you move back? Does OKC say, well, we don't really like anything right here. We can still get our guy. Let's move back a little bit. Do you reach for a project like Nate Ahmed? Do you take Nate Ahmed and allow him to come into the OKC system and stay there for 2 years and get his feet wet and learn the system? I'm interested to see what OKC does here. I think this is one of those picks where at this point it's kind of a gray area, but those are kind of players I'm kind of thinking for OKC. But good for Michigan, man. They got two of their guys already gone to the lottery, most likely. Adayamara's probably going to be the third player in the lottery. And this Michigan front court this year was dominant offensively and defensively. I would say the one player that I felt like outplayed them when they played against them and really dominated that game to me was Cam Boozer. Cam in that game against Michigan had 18 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists, and I think only like 1 or 2 turnovers. And he just controlled that game, in my opinion. But most of the year, this team was dominant. LeBaron had a great game against them, too, in the NCAA tournament. I think he had 35 against them. But really, Cam Boozer showed to me, like, oh, no, he's for real. The way he handled that Michigan front court. Hannes Steinbach, somebody who will be drafted probably in a couple picks later on, he was another player I thought played really well against Michigan. Yeah. Knowing how poor the guards were at Washington, Zoom Diallo was horrible, in my opinion. And the other dude was not that good either. But he handled himself pretty well against Michigan. But this Michigan front court, when we look back on it, is going to be reminded and probably remembered as one of the best front courts in all of college basketball. Like, yes, they were lights out dominant this year. So him going to Golden State, how you feeling about that? What you thinking?
Yaxel Lindenberg, man. I'm not. I wasn't here for what you said, but I know you're a ball knower, so I'm gonna just say I agree with everything you said. 240 pounds, 7'3" wingspan, like I mentioned earlier. He's got a mentor from day one in Jimmy Butler, which I think I'm really big on players going to a team with a player with a similar mindset, a similar play style, or just successful at that position. So I think their play styles aren't too far apart. I don't think he'll be as good or an all NBA player like a Jimmy Butler. I think as we get into these later picks, these are more guys who are cornerstone pieces, not necessarily guys that we're going to give the keys to, at least not from day one. But some positives from Yaxel, man. I think he can guard the 3 through 5. I'm not saying every game, but just maybe switching on. So he has some defensive versatility. And he also has the footwork to keep up with guards. It was times in that Purdue game where he was guarding Braden Smith, where I feel like you don't even put him on there if you don't think he's capable of doing that. So the defensive versatility, I think, will translate instantly to the NBA level. Strong slasher on spot-up looks. He gets open. Shot 76% as a cutter. High motor. Willing rebounder, like I've been hitting the hammer on with a lot of these guys. I love guys who can rebound the basketball no matter what position, but especially guys who aren't at the 4 or the 5. I think Maryland, he put on his best display of what he can be as an offensive scorer. I think that game he flirted with 30 points. I wrote it down, had 8 rebounds, 9 assists, 3 blocks, 2 steals. So flirted with a triple-double, but also showed what he can do on the defensive end with getting 5 stocks. Went 4 for 5 from the 3-point line as well. So just efficient at a lot of different areas. And I don't think you have games like that if you aren't capable of doing that consistently. Maybe not to that degree, but I think you don't accidentally have a 29, 8, 9, 3, and 2 game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to put in effort for that. One of the best motors in the game, a Swiss Army knife top player is what I kind of labeled him as. And I think he might be the most NBA ready from an impact standpoint as a role player than anybody in this draft. People are hammering that he's old. Not everybody develops the same. He didn't start playing basketball until he was 18 years old. So the fact that he is a lottery pick with less than 10 years of experience, I think that says more than anything. Can move for that size. I'm a big fan of Yaxel Lindenberg. I think he'll be great for Golden State. Steph Curry, Draymond will love him. I think this takes some load off of Draymond as well. Let's throw Yaxel with some of these defensive assignments. Let's see what he do. Jimmy Butler gonna take it, but young bull, we might not need as much from you offensively, but right now, show me what you can do on defense, and I think Yaxel gonna put his head down and do that. So
I mixed him. I told everybody that for me, his player comp was a mixture of Christian Woods and Aaron Gordon.
I like that
because I like I said, kind of just epitomizes everything you just said about him, right? Like defensively, he has the versatility. Offensively, can do something with the ball. And this was really emotional for him. He was in his interview just now with his mom. He said it. He said
I
he
might tweak out, bro, for this pick. I might tweak out if it's the wrong pick. I hate to cut you off.
Turn it up. Turn it up, man. Turn it up.
The Oklahoma City Thunder select
That Wimby shit is dead. Great pick, Sam.
Diamara, guys.
Pick. That is a fucking great pick.
Just talked about this. How do you draft a Diamara? Thomas Soiber. There you go. They said Wimby,
pick, bro.
We coming.
We needed that so much, bro. I was talking to one of my homies. I get a little. My fault. Can you hear me?
No, you good, bro.
My bad, bro.
I was just talking to everybody about it. I just told them how I felt like, does OKC go a Diamara and go that a Diamara and Thomas Soiber as their future, not knowing what Isaiah Hartenstein is going to give them for the next couple years, So this was a good pick. He got to stay healthy. The dude is 7'4". He got to stay healthy. He ain't had a problem yet.
This has helped so many people in that blue and orange uniform. Chet Holmgren, there is no more conversations with you at the 5. We're gonna put you in Evan Mobley role, and you were the 4. Be great as a power forward, Chet Holmgren. I think this helps him a lot. Thomas Sorber, I think this also, with him being on the shorter side at 6'9", 6'10" in this year's NBA, some flexibility with him at the 4. I think the pick and roll game, that's not something you can keep track of statistically, but I think that's going to help us tremendously, especially as a shooting team, especially running off-ball screens behind a 7'4" guy. I think that just, by default, creates more open looks. I think what OKC, we had 2 injuries. No AJ Mitchell, no Jalen Williams. I still think we could have won Game 7 if we had a player like Russell Westbrook on the team. And what I mean by that is nothing as far as what he's going to do on the court. I feel like we have the players on the court to be better. When Mason Plumlee threw an elbow at Jared McCain and he got up smiling, bro, that told me right there that like we too soft, bro. Like we are too soft. Shea, I don't expect nothing from Shea. He's the star player. He's the lead. You stay clean. You know what I'm saying? I don't need you in the mix. But when I didn't see Lou Dort get in the mix, Isaiah Hartenstein to bump a little bit. Mara's not going for that, bro. He talk. He's a dog. If you getting physical, he getting physical. And I'm not even saying the Spurs played a dirty game. But I'm just saying if they punch them back, bro. And I think even having a 7'4" presence on the floor is gonna make teams think twice about hitting Jared McCain because you got this enforcer on the floor now. And I think that rubs off on the teammates. It's not going to be too many times where you see him being by himself in these battles. When you got a 7'4" guy on your team, if you see him sliding, bro, he stays sliding too. And I think with what we get at 17, if I'm not mistaken, our next pick, I think we go guard. I think we get Cameron Carr and really solidify that defense. Getting Mara, though, makes me look differently at what we might do with Isaiah Hartenstein, considering the fact that his contract is up. Do we prioritize getting Lou Dort now for less money and at a different position and a specialist on defense? We got Thomas Sorber. We got Chet Holmgren. Do we feel the need to sign Isaiah Hartenstein now? We get Mara. Well, one of the best teams in the NBA. I don't think Mara starting on day one would be throwing him into the fire, just because it's one of the best teams in the league. Similar to guys like we mentioned, Keaton Wagler, Kingston Fleming. These guys that are already going into young teams that are already kind of have an identity and they have clear roles for these guys. I think, great pick, Sam. Great pick.
Yeah, Diamara, somebody covers the space well. Great hands,
pick.
soft touch. He's going to be able to, like I said, contribute day one. I mean, he's going to contribute day one for this OKC team. So it's going to be fun to watch. Like I said, the biggest thing for me is him just being healthy. That's why on my big board, I had him 18th.
Gotta stay healthy.
It's hard, it's hard, right? It's hard with the wear and tear on your body at that size, being 7'4". So a Diamara, you see it's going to OKC. The next pick is Milwaukee again. Most likely Milwaukee, I think they can go. They can. I wouldn't necessarily take a flyer necessarily, but if they go at this pick, if they go Nate Ament, I wouldn't be too surprised. It kind of makes sense because they need. I mean, Kuzma's not your long-term answer, and you have a lot of guards. Now you have a lot of guards, right? You just got Burries. Yeah. Most likely, I'm assuming this next pick will be Nate Ament is probably what I'll mock it out to be. Or maybe Hannes Steinbach. Maybe they go Steinbach.
That could be it too.
Jaden Quinnis. It's going to be see who they go here, but I think most likely a forward is going to go here. Who do you think Milwaukee's going with?
Well, they went Braden Burries in the backcourt, so I don't think they go backcourt twice. Heinz Steinbach makes the most sense to me because Giannis Antetokounmpo is gone. That fills a void in the front court. Miles Turner, I think, could use some help. I like what Heinz can be as an offensive player. Not saying he's going to come into the offense and give you 30 points a game like Giannis, but I like what he can be as a potential offensive player. Good touch around the rim. A lot of plays that I've seen throughout the season where he can even grab and go. Big man who can get it off the glass and initiate the fast break or even put the ball on the ground and get it going himself. So I like that part of Heinz. Defensively, though, I think he needs to get a little bit better. Now, luckily, he does have a guy like Miles Turner to play off of if Milwaukee does decide to go with that pick. Outside of Heinz, I'm just really surprised LeBaron Feiland hasn't got his name called yet. A team that I think could use a lead guard. I like Rollins, but I like him more off the ball as what he can do as a slasher and as a shooter. And I think you get a creative guy like LeBaron Feiland in and kind of quarterback that offense. Like you mentioned about LeBaron, a very slept-on defender. Back when he was playing with did he play with Mark Sears, who I think went to Milwaukee? He was able to play a little bit more defense because the offense wasn't so dependent upon him. Aiden got into some trouble too, so he had to definitely kind of be the offense. So I think he can definitely be a better defender at the NBA level than what we might have seen this past season. LeBaron Feiland, Heinz Steinbach, I think make the most sense for me if I'm Milwaukee with this pick.
Somebody, I don't have my phone right now because I'm using my phone as my camera, but somebody has texted me and told me that it's looking like Kyrie Irving may be on his way to Minnesota.
Okay.
I don't know. Right. I can't really look at anything right now because I got so many windows open, but he's getting ready to send me the link of where he probably seen that or why he thinks that. But I don't know because Minnesota does have that $33 million trade exception. They did create that $33 million trade exception, but I'm interested to see who would go to Dallas. Yeah, my phone, I can't really use my phone right now to get on Twitter, but
let's see.
Yeah, I'll say maybe you can check and see.
Let me try to check.
Try to follow it for me. For us.
That'll be interesting. What are your initial thoughts on Kyrie in Minnesota? Is that something that you think could work? What do you think Minnesota would have to probably give up to get Kyrie?
For sure that'll work, no doubt. Him and Ant will work. Yeah, 1,000%. I just don't know what you're giving up to. I don't know what Dallas would want from Minnesota.
Yeah, he'll go
because those young guys in Minnesota, they're not trading them. So, what do I want? Why do I want Dante for? If I'm Dallas, what do I want him for? I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, not unless
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, because you just go get Murray, so it don't make sense to trade for Rudy Gobert. Daniels is. Do you give up Daniels and put somebody else on the wing?
No, you don't give up Jaden McDaniels. They said
I
he's
don't think-
untouchable.
Yeah, and I think the best they have as far as draft, I think they might have like the 23rd pick and then the second to last pick in the second round. So not the greatest draft.
Yes, said I
capital.
don't know what they would give up, but I know for sure.
Not unless
that
other
pick,
teams are involved. Now it's like
Nah.
a 3-team or something, or is it just like a straight up
Yeah,
2-team trade? Or
yeah, I'm gonna try and.
I tried to look it up.
Yeah, you didn't
Wow.
see nothing about it. Maybe he's seen it from a source that he trusts. You want to turn up the TV? I think Miami's about to select. Let's see who
Yeah, they
it's
about to
chasing.
select.
Well, not Miami, but Milwaukee.
The Miami Heat select Nate Heyman.
Yep, sound about right. Yeah, that
Is
was.
that Khalil Ware 2.0?
You said that. Who? Nate Ament.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he play. I don't think they play similar. I don't think they play center. I think Nate for me was another player for me that was kind of somewhat of a polarizing prospect for me throughout this draft process. Does a really good job at playing. He does a good job at absorbing physicality. Hence why he gets to the free throw line 7 times a game. But he doesn't do a good job at playing through physicality. Like,
Yeah, I see his
as
numbers at
game
the rim were
wanes
like
on-
terrible for him to be
Well,
that
yeah.
big.
And as the game wanes on, it seems like the physicality just wanes on him. And then even throughout the year, I'll put it this way to you. At the beginning of the year, through SEC play, he shot 43% from the field, 37 from 3, 80% from the free throw line, right?
Right.
In the NCAA tournament and in the SEC tournament, he shot 31% from the field, 36 from 3, and 78 from the free throw line. And ironically, if you go back and look at those teams in the SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament, those were more physical teams. And even throughout the year in the SEC, I felt like there was a lot of times throughout the game, whereas the game waned on, the contact was weighing on him. He didn't go demand the ball. He would kind of shy away. You would wonder if he was even on the court for long durations of the game. And I was like, I can't rock with that. So mentally, my question marks for him is mentally, does he want to be the guy or does he just want to be a guy?
Yeah.
That's my biggest question mark with him. And that's why I have him lower on my big board. I have him at 19.
I think
but
the
his
last
player
time we
comps-
wait, no, finish.
Go
My
ahead.
fault. No, it's all you. My fault. I don't want to.
No, it's all good. So
cut
his
you off
player
idea.
comps for me were a mixture of Rashard Lewis and Michael Porter Jr. That's what I
Okay.
kind of have him comped as. He's very solid at creating his own shot off the dribble. Doesn't have many dribble moves, but he does a good job at dribbling and getting to his spots, using his footwork and leveraging his length to get to his spot.
Yeah.
I think he's a 6'10". He's a 6'10" project. Really good fluidity to his game, but like I say, he does a good job at absorbing contact. Doesn't do a good well at playing through it. Obviously, he can bulk up, but I'm wondering if it's a mental thing. Is he mentally
Yeah.
just a soft guy? I'm curious to know that. And his passing and playmaking, like playmaking needs to improve, but as a passer, he's solid enough. Like I've seen him make a good amount of cross-court passes. What are your thoughts on Nate?
Similar. I think we had a conversation. I think the last time we talked, we brought up how he's one of the guys. I think the question was, who are some guys that could benefit from going to school another year? We mentioned Nate Ament and Koa Pete, if I'm not mistaken. And Nate Ament, as I watched, I think I even texted you not too long ago and was like, I see why teams are like, because at first I was like, he's not a lottery pick. I don't get it. But then I texted him like, okay, I see why people might consider him that lottery, just because of the ceiling, not necessarily what he put on tape right now, but just maybe for what he could be. I do too. I also question the toughness, being that size and having that poor of a finishing percentage around the rim. I think that raises some question marks. Is it something that you can teach? I don't think in the NBA level you can teach a guy to be tough. I feel like they have to. Maybe you can help him find the toughness in them, but I don't think you can make a nice guy a mean guy in the NBA. You got guys like Isaiah Stewart and guys he's going to see every night who's going to, you know what I'm saying? Those are guys who got it in them. So I don't know if people watching, I'm sure you might know, but Austin Day was a guy who played in the NBA a while ago. He was a bigger forward, like 6'10", 6'11".
Yeah,
Can
didn't
shoot the
he play
ball.
for Detroit?
Yeah, played for Detroit, light-skinned dude. Yeah, Austin Day. Rashard Lewis, that kind of combo forward is what I would put him as, because sure, they have the height of what we might consider a power forward, 6'10", 6'11", really long wingspan, but their games more favor a small forward, a guy who might be on a wing a little bit more.
They said he's not done growing, by the way.
And I watched him in high school. I went back and watched him in high school. I didn't watch him in high school like while he was in high school, but throughout this draft process, and he looked like a totally different player. So I'm not too sure if maybe he's just, like you mentioned, still growing. So I got to get used to this body I'm in. Sure, we could be like, you're 6'10", but you're not used to being 6'10", 6'9". You know what I'm saying? So your game's not predicated on.
He's not done, man. So who knows?
So who knows, man?
His kid's about to be.
Who knows? So this goes to Miami?
No, he's going to Milwaukee.
This goes to Milwaukee. Yep. Okay, so
he'll be going to Milwaukee.
Taylor Jenkins is the coach, right?
Talk about something. What Shams talking about?
I think he's talking about the Giannis trade.
Oh, okay.
While he's talking about that, I got a question.
Yeah.
So you mentioned how you got a message about Kyrie to the
to
Minnesota. So I got a homie who's a huge Minnesota fan. I think he's from there too. So he's really, he's really tapped into the sport period, but really Minnesota. And it's possible. You know what I'm saying? I was asking him, who he could see possibly, because he also said if it is a trade, it'll be like a one-on-one. It's not going to be too many other teams involved in this. Gobert, Dante, Terrence Shannon Jr. could possibly get it done for a guy like Kyrie Irving. He said we can't get off J-Mac, not Naz Reid.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see
who
they would. I'm just curious to see who they would even give up, because they have the trade exception.
Yeah,
they don't have to necessarily give up a bunch of players because they have $33 million that they can absorb. But I'm just curious to know where they go with that. Who's next on the board for us? So we got Charlotte.
We got Charlotte. Pick is in for Charlotte.
Picks in for Charlotte. Who you thinking for Charlotte? Who you thinking?
It gotta be somebody in the front court. It has to be a front court player, I would think.
I'm thinking Cameron Carr. I'm gonna say Carr or Swain.
Let's see.
I'm gonna say Carr or Swain.
Swain makes sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Cameron Carr or Swain for them.
As part of a deal to be finalized later, the Miami Heat are trading to Milwaukee Bucks the draft rights to Nate Amen, the 13th pick.
Bro, look like an alien.
And with the 14th pick in the 2026 NBA draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Hannes Steinbach.
Okay, they go offense.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I like it, though. I think they have to beef up that front court. I like Ryan Kalberner. Moose is pretty cool, but he's still, we're like 6'9". I don't know how long they was going to be able to get away with him at the 5, even though he's good. I like this.
Steinbach was somebody I talked about. Even just here on our live stream.
I like that. Good move.
On my personal pod. Steinbach is somebody that is going to benefit from playing with NBA level guards. At Washington, he was playing with some scrubs. Just like to be just keeping a being with you. Zoom Diallo he's a bust. Zoom Diallo was really good coming out of Seattle. And he went to University of Washington, hasn't really panned out.
Went to Kentucky now, right?
No, Zoom Diallo's still at he's still at UW.
He is? Oh, okay.
Yeah. You're thinking of somebody else. You're thinking of another Zoom. I know you're thinking of. Hannes Steinbach, 6'11", with a 7'2" wingspan, center.
Yep.
His player comp to me was Nikola Vucevic, and I'm thinking of Vucevic in Orlando / early years in Chicago. Great pick and roll player, makes great reads out of the pick and roll, sets great picks. He's a great rebounder, arguably the best rebounder in this draft. He has a nice shooting touch and solid post moves. And I think things he needs to improve on is rim protection and guarding in space. So we'll see. I like Steinbach, though. He was 12th on my big board. I had him 12th. It's going to be interesting, though, with the Hornets, because I didn't envision him with the Hornets. Just because he's an offensive big, he's not a defensive one. But maybe they use him as a connector. Maybe
I think that'll be it.
Like a Draymond type of guy where he's passing out of the sets, or like Cat,
Yeah.
That's maybe what they're probably going to do.
He's going to be, and I like that you said that, because he is going to probably be what Cat is to a Mitchell Robinson, esque. You know what I'm saying? Might start at the 5, but I think he'll play with another big man on the court a lot of the times. I like guys who can rebound. Let's see what I have him. He had 23 double doubles this year, and he only played in 30 games. And let's see. Oh, he was rumored. That's what I was going to say. He was rumored to get $10 million to return back to college basketball. So he was somebody who was highly sought after. A lot of the coaches seen the potential. German player, went to Washington. Same with guys like Detlef Schrempf, Christian Welp, other German players who also went to Washington. Grab and go ability, like I mentioned, can push the fast break, can initiate the offense off the glass. Let's see, elite rebounder. I think he led the nation in rebound. So, Charlotte's going to get a lot of second chance points here. I think him and LaMelo could do a lot of great things off pick and pops, pick and rolls. Even Con Knipple, I think, is a guy who will be able to set up Stein back. High IQ guards, guys who make the right reads with the ball in their hand, I think he's going to benefit from. And he can run the floor. I think LaMelo, Brandon Miller, Con, Miles Bridges, those are guys who like to get running. I think he'll be able to keep up with that pace. Extremely physical, imposing player offensively. I like it, man. I think it gives him, even if he plays next to Moose, I think that helps him from a defensive standpoint. From a player comp wise, I had him more of like an Isaiah Hartenstein, Tyson Chandler. His body is, you can't keep track of stats of how many times players don't go to the rim because they see this player there. But I think he's going to be one of those guys that he's going to make you think twice when you go to the rim. He's going to be a great help side blocker next to a guy like Moose because he has a longer wingspan. He can move around, lateral quickness. I had the best teams for him were the Bulls and the Kings. Those are two teams I wanted to see him with. Teams with some solid wings and teams that I think can kind of push the pace a little bit as they get younger.
Yeah. Do you think so? You think him and Moose? You think they're going to start together?
Yeah, I think they'll play together. I think that's how you maximize Heinz Steinbach.
Honestly, I think that works because that speaks to what I think he needs to improve on is being a better rim protector and guarding in space. And a better way to do that is what? Cover him up and have him play power forward.
And just kind of let him learn. You know what I'm saying? He might get some minutes at the 5, but I think he's the best with a guy like Moose on the court with him at all times. He might even see him with Ryan Calburn on the court.
I agree with you 1,000%. That makes sense. And he can stretch the floor. Hannes Steinbach can shoot threes.
Yeah, he can shoot. What I got, 34% from 3 this past season. So
yeah, no,
he's going to make you step out there. So I like it, man. What we got? Chicago next. What do you think Chicago should do with the 15th pick? We seen them take Caleb Wilson earlier. We mentioned they got Buzelis. They got Giddey. Do they go front court?
I think.
Who's left in the front court? I think front court kind of got cleared out now.
I mean, it depends if you want to take a flyer or not. Jaden Quinnis is still there.
You do have room to kind of risk because you did take Caleb Wilson, who we're both high on. And so do you think they get a little risky with this pick? Because Jaden Quinnis is very much available.
Oh, man. I don't even want to think about what that could be defensively if he's healthy. If
he don't even got to get rushed.
I feel like Chicago, at this point in the draft, I think you go a couple different places. You can look at a Cameron Carr.
Yeah. You
have a lot of guards already. You have a lot of point guards. So I think you might look at Jaden Quinnis at this point. I don't think you necessarily go. I don't think you go Swain. Swain doesn't make sense to me with them. But I do think I think Jaden Quinnis is a player you could take a fly on if you want, if you're Chicago at this point.
That makes sense. I like how you brought that up because he kind of went to the back of my mind. I kind of forgot he was.
Oh, Jaden Quinnis?
Yeah, because we just talked about him the other day too, I think. I forgot that fast that he was available. Hey, man, what's up with LeBaron Philon? I mean, go put him in Chicago. Get him a rock.
Oh, man. Well, they got Giddey.
They got Giddey.
They got Rob Dillingham.
I'm not a Dillingham
Trey
guy.
Johnson. They got to figure out what they're going to do with Anthony Simons. Yeah. I wouldn't mind LeBaron in Chicago.
He is loaded, though.
Think about this. In the fast break, LeBaron, Caleb, and Buzelis.
We'll get punched on, bro. You better get out the way.
Oh, man, it'd be box office to watch them run.
Who's after Bay? Let's see. All right. I want to go down some of the players that are still available and let me know some guys that you think might be getting their names called soon. Kareem
Go ahead.
Lopez, the best prospect out of Mexico, still available. Christian Anderson Jr., Alan Graves, LeBaron Philon, Abeka Okori. Let's go Koa Pete,
Yeah.
Joshua Jefferson, Chris Sanak, Bennett Sturts. Who are some guys that you think as we get to the back half of this draft, Chicago's up next. We talked about them. Who are some guys maybe that you want to see get their names called here soon?
I mean,
Or some guys you're a fan of?
You got Giddy. You got Buzz. I wouldn't mind Cameron Carr for them. I think I
wouldn't
like
mind that
Carr. Yeah, I wouldn't mind Cameron Carr for them at this
Play
point.
next to Giddy.
I'm just thinking
He can
about long term, right? Like Giddy's gonna be
Yeah.
your point guard.
I like Carr.
Most likely, shooting guard, Buzelis can be either your 2 or your 3. I think Cameron Carr could be your 2. Oh, they're about
I
to
like
say.
Carr.
Yeah, they're about to
I think
announce
it's
it. You wanna
Cameron
turn it
Carr.
up.
Got to be
Yeah, I
Carr.
think Carr would be a good one for them.
26th
We'll go with the fly.
Chicago Bulls select Dalen Swain.
Dalen Swain.
Swain. They went
All
Swain.
right.
Swain's not a bad option there.
All right, let me know. Sell me on Swain. I'm not a Swain guy. I don't think that was a good pick. This might be the first pick where I'm just like, what was that about? So sell me on him, man. Why would Chicago think he was a good fit?
I think Swain is a player that defensively is going to be able to come in, play defense day one. He has a great size. He's about 6'7", with really long arms. Very, very good with a 6'10" wingspan. And I think he's a very good finisher. Can create his own shot. And I think he's quietly a good passer out of the pick and roll. And he plays at his own pace. The things I hate about him is his jump shot form. The form on his jump shot is disgusting. Like it's downright dirty. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't like his jump shot form. But if they can tweak it, because right now the way he shoots is nasty. But he can shoot though, because he shot almost 82% from the free throw line. He only took about 1.5 to 2 threes a game. But if he can change the form on his jump shot, Swain's solid. I think at worst, this is a rotational guy in the NBA. He needs to also, I think, work on. He has a go-to move. He loves to dribble left and then spin back right. I see him kill people all year long doing that, which is great. He'll be able to take that to the NBA. But I think he also needs to work on his left hand, just dribbling and being more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Because there were times where I felt like he looked a little uncomfortable and went right back to his right hand pretty quickly. But Swain in Chicago is interesting. That lets me know Chicago's trying to build. They're trying to have size and athleticism and physicality. Because now you got Buzelis, who's 6'7", 6'8". You got Caleb, who's 6'9", 6'10". You got Noah Eshinge, who's 6'7", 6'8". And now you just added Dalen Swain, who's 6'7". And you got Patrick Williams, who, he's 6'8". So they're trying to build out. I think that we're going to go big on people. And
I like that.
Physically impose ourselves. And think about who their head coach is, bro. Their head coach is Tiago Splitter.
New head coach.
Tiago's very much hard-nosed, tough, gritty.
Yeah.
You're going to play hard. You're going to defend. These are Tiago's guys. I confidently can say that. Like Caleb Wilson, Dalen Swain, those are Tiago type of guys. So obviously, yes, I'm surprised by it because I thought Chicago, I felt like could have went Cameron Carr with the defense and also with the shooting because I think Chicago needs some more like pure shooting.
Me too.
But I get it. And then you got Nick Claxton. Nick Claxton's what? 6'9", 6'10".
They did get Nick Claxton.
So again, I think it's more so the physical, athletic, super long dude. Pause. What you got to say?
I'm just listening, man. I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm kind of looking at some stuff that I had wrote down on the iPad about him. Some numbers. I know he spent his first 2 years at Xavier. You mentioned that he's not a great three-point shooter. When I was watching him, when I don't like a prospect, I try to challenge myself to give 5 to 10 things that I like about him. And then maybe that'll help me think different. So the things that I wrote down about him was he showed the ability to be improved as a jump shooter. His freshman year shot 15% from 3. Jumped from 25 the next year, and this year was 34. And that's with increasing the shot usage. So he's taking more shots and more efficient with it. I think that's always a great sign of development, a guy who can show that he can improve as a jump shooter. average 1 steal every game. So, like you mentioned, it's probably going to come to the NBA and have that instant, hard-nosed, two-way impact to a stint. I don't know Isaiah Okoro. I don't know what his position is on the Bulls, but I could see him maybe taking that role as far as, what he brings to the team and what his role will be. I think he'll benefit from having a guy like Caleb Wilson, Buzelis, guys who are asked of the same thing. So it's not like he's the only one who has to do this. I think when you have a team that has a collective goal, stuff like that can rub off on players. So the fact that he's already coming in with it, teammates with the same mindset, coach on the same mindset, I think that's how you maximize a player like him. Yeah, man.
Where do you think Memphis goes?
LeBaron Philon, right? No,
LeBaron?
Do we go LeBaron Philon? Because we're not sure how long Josh going to be in here. We like Cedric Coward at the 2. We got Edie at the 5. We got Gigi Jackson at the 3. Let's get a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I keep coming with these football references, but let's get somebody who had a ball in his hand and maybe.
I'm
higher on him than probably the more, but I think LeBaron can go there and maybe year 2 or year 3 give you 20 a game.
LeBaron in Memphis, man. That
makes sense to me.
That's the closest thing to Ja they gonna get.
That's the close. Come on now, and he's not. He's bro. And think about him too. I was seeing throughout the whole year how he was just big guard, bro. He's the same size as Acuff. I seen him and Acuff like doing a little meet. I'm like, bro, these dudes are the same height. So I think that helped me sell me more on Acuff than it did lower me on LeBaron. That's just how much I think LeBaron.
Yeah, LeBaron in shoes is 6'4". Mm-hmm. Acuff's about 6'3", but Acuff is a little thicker. Pause.
Yeah, he's kind of more solid. For sure.
He do got more weight on him for sure. But this boy plays physical. We're gonna see where they go here because they can go LeBaron. If they plan on keeping Ja, do you take a fly on a player like Kareem Lopez here? Do you take a player like Allen Graves?
Analytic darling is what some call Allen Graves.
Yeah. Do you go Kareem Lopez, Allen Graves here? Do you go Chris Sinak?
I want Thunder to go Kareem Lopez. I think we need to hammer down because Kareem Lopez, and I hate to jump ahead of Memphis. We'll see what they talk about first. Hold on.
Okay.
The 16th pick in the 2026 NBA draft, the Memphis Grizzlies select Bennett Sturts from the University of Iowa.
Wow. That threw me off because Bennett Sturts to me is a backup.
Facts, bro. Like I was texting.
I think
crazy
he's a backup, truly.
My homie who I was, whoa.
Yeah, that kind of threw me in for a loop a little bit. So they went Boozer and Bennett Sturts.
Before we get specifically on Bennett, let me know what you think about that. They go Boozer, Sturts. What does that tell you? The direction that you think? Yes.
High basketball IQ guys. That's what they're going with in Memphis. They said we don't care about athleticism. We want to kill you guys. You know what I'm saying? The last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. We want to kill you guys coming out of halftime.
And that boy can shoot too now. Sturts can make some shots.
Sturts is interesting. Sturts can shoot.
That's interesting.
He's a solid player.
He was a backup to me too.
Like he's a backup. When I'm thinking about, and when I tell you guys, like I think a player's this, it's based on my thinking is NBA championship. Do I think this kid is a point guard on the NBA championship team, a starting point guard? No, I think he's a backup. I think Bennett Sturts is solid. He's smart decision making. He takes care of the ball. He takes care of the ball really well. He's just a steady player. I didn't expect him going this high.
Me neither, bro.
LeBaron is dropping, bro.
What's up, bro? If LeBaron puts on an OKC jersey, I might cry on stream, dog. Might cry on stream,
bro. Like,
what's up? What's up with that though? Like, that's interesting, bro. Because not only did LeBaron Philon get passed up, I'm just more shocked at who went like before him. Like, if you would have told me Bennett Sturts went before LeBaron Philon.
Look. Okay, so our next picks we got OKC, the Hornets, Toronto, San Antonio, and this is where I kind of want to wait to say it, but Detroit at 21. If LeBaron falls to Detroit at 21, the Detroit Pistons will win an NBA title. I've said that. I really believe that. Him and Cade in the backcourt.
Crazy. And like LeBaron Philon gonna D up, bro. That's gonna be better than what Jaden Ivey was.
All the way and think about it. Look, even at 21, if LeBaron is gone, there's still Ibuka Okori too.
Yes, bro.
Detroit might be in a premium position, and I talked to my OG about this. I said, bro, there's a possibility LeBaron might fall to y'all. I told him this a couple of days ago. He's like, really, Philly? I was like, yes. I said, yes. And OKC has no reason to take him.
Not really.
They just got rid of Aaron Wiggins.
I got a feeling OKC might go Graves.
They should. Physical.
Yeah.
San Antonio was disrespecting them with the
very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. The whole game, if you ask me.
Yeah. So OKC may be like, yeah, we got something else for y'all.
We got Mara and Graves.
They should go Graves here.
For the people that aren't watching, I'm gonna assume you guys aren't familiar with Allen Graves because he went to a smaller school. If you guys are, more power to you. Like PJ mentioned, like we mentioned, he's an analytic darling, plays hard. Didn't start at Santa Clara, and some people might, why would you get somebody who didn't start at a small school? Yeah. Don't get caught up in that. He redshirted his freshman year, and I'm really big on not everybody goes down the same path. Some guys develop at different paces than other players. Now, the good thing about Allen Graves, if I'm not mistaken, he's on the younger side of these players. But at Santa Clara this past season, he averaged 11 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, shot 51% from the field, shot 41% from the three-point line, and also averaged almost a block and almost 2 steals a game. So if OKC is bringing in Allen Graves, you're bringing in a 6'8" guy, 230 pounds.
Hey, breaking news. Whoa. Bennett Sturts is actually going to end up, he just got traded.
Okay. What happened? Where you go?
To the Oklahoma City. OKC.
What?
Bennett Sturts just got traded to OKC. You're upset? Why are you upset, bro?
What? For what?
Bennett Sturts is solid. He's ready to play day one. He's a backup. Like I told you, he's a backup.
All right, I'm going to put on my other hat here. That could probably actually work out the second unit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We just said he's a...
Bro, he's got really good ball control. He's a good ball handler, good passer. He's tough.
I'm going to trust Sam Presti, bro. I'm going to trust that.
He's a great shooter. That's a good grab for OKC, and they only gave up, I think, 2 seconds. That's good for you guys, bro. I think that's a really good grab for y'all, to be honest. I don't know if OKC is keeping pick 17.
Nah, we traded it. That goes to Memphis. So the Grizzlies get
going to Memphis?
Yeah, Memphis get the 2nd and 17.
Okay. So I wonder
they gotta go Cameron Carr.
I wonder why did they both flip? Just what was the point of that?
Yeah, I don't.
What was the point? I guess they gained 2 seconds.
What year were the seconds?
Oh, I didn't look. I just seen the 2 seconds.
What? Okay, see, Bennett Sturts.
So Memphis basically just kind of fleeced. Well, they didn't fleece him. But
I'm sure OKC probably put that call in like draft our guy, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's worth it. Like I said, Bennett Sturts is gonna be able to contribute day one for you guys. I like Sturts. I really do. I like Sturts. And he's 6'4", good body. Pause. Let me see. Is the pick in for Memphis?
I think they still on the OKC graphic.
Oh, okay.
Bro, what the hell?
My man is shook over there.
I'm trying, bro.
Bro, that's good.
I'm trying to make it make sense.
Literally, they answered 2 of their problems. Right?
I just don't understand. But we got AJ Mitchell. We got Cason Wallace. I love what Cason Wallace did with the ball in his hand when Shea got hurt. We got Shea. We got Nikola Topic.
But you guys traded Aaron Gordon. You guys traded Aaron Wiggins. Nikola Topic is still a project, bro. That kid's still a project.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to think about if they play the Spurs, Bennett Sturts is going to be able to steady the ship. He's somebody that confidently could dribble the ball up and make decisions.
And that's what he was missing.
Is really not. Cason Wallace ain't no point guard. He's like Marcus Smart. He's a shooting guard. Bennett Sturts is actually a point guard. Brother. And Bennett Sturts is older, bro. Bennett Sturts has played in a lot of big games. Has been the best player on all his teams.
Took Iowa to his tournament by himself.
He played the most minutes in college basketball the last 2 years. Sturts is a good grab. I think that's a great grab for OKC. And I think he most likely will be in you guys' playoff rotation next year. And he could shoot the lights out.
the best case scenario is I come back to this during the playoffs and be like, wow, I was just so wrong on him.
Oh, pick is in. Where are they going here? They're probably going Carr, right? Oh, they took Ibuka Okori.
Oh,
Memphis.
Look, Baron, Phylon,
Ibuka
Sturts, and Okori over Phylon?
Hey.
What?
I am surprised by him being over Phylon, but Ibuka Okori is somebody I felt like that potentially could be a sleeper in this draft. So he's going to Memphis. Is that right?
Yeah, he's going to Memphis.
Okay, so he's going to Memphis. Memphis so has Cam Boozer, Ibuka Okori, high IQ players. Ibuka Okori 6'2", with a 6'7" wingspan, 3-level score.
Get buckets.
He's a killer in the pick and roll. He's dynamite. The kid's dynamite. Ibuka Okori is dynamite.
It's Kemba Walker right there.
Him and Cam Boozer in the pick and roll is going to be fun to watch. It's going to be good, man. Good pick.
I would have liked this over Sturts. I'm not gonna lie.
Ibuka Okori was number 14th on my big board. He's fearless. Even though he's 6'2", defensively, he's competitive. He potentially could be a sleeper in this draft, in my opinion. His biggest concern to me is his size. But the kid is smart as a whip. He went to Stanford. He carried that Stanford offense night in and night out. He destroyed North Carolina this year in that game. He had Seth Trimble in a blender. Caleb Williams. Look, there's the highlights against North Carolina. That boy Ibuka Okori. But look, hey, the countdown is on. LeBaron to Detroit at 21.
That's what we're going for. On. All right, I got a question. I got a question for you before we get to 21. The pick before 21 is 20. What do you think San Antonio does? Do they go get Chris Sinak? Do they go get who else is available? Let's see. I would imagine though. San Antonio goes front court. Kareem Lopez.
If I'm San Antonio,
Jaden Queens.
I'm going Jaden Queens.
Okay.
If they get Jaden Queens,
that's scary.
And he's healthy.
That's scary. That boy get bugged.
Dude, I really don't think people know how good Jaden Queens really was at Arizona State. Him and Victor really want to be a power forward. Victor's really
he's not a five.
He's really we just put him at center because how tall the dude is.
Yeah, he's not. His game don't predicate.
If I'm San Antonio, I am heavily looking at Jaden Quenis at number 20.
All right.
He might fall even farther. If he goes past San Antonio at 20, I think he's most likely coming off the board to the Lakers at 25.
He had to. I'm about to take another bathroom break intermission while we on commercial break. These water bottles is flowing, brother. For sure.
You're good. Well, our next player on the next team on the big board, you guys, we got the Charlotte Hornets. Charlotte, thus far tonight, they took on a Steinbach. I was surprised that they went more offense. I expect them. I don't know if they're keeping the pick at 18. I don't have access to my phone right now, so I don't know if they ended up making any trades with that pick. But if I'm the Hornets, I think you got to go defense. I think you need some defense out there. In my opinion, Allen Graves. I think Allen Graves should be the pick at number 18. And if you guys are not familiar with Allen Graves, he's a Swiss Army knife. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Al Horford, a little bit, just his versatility and being able to be the connector out of the pick and roll. Defensively, been able to guard. I think Allen Graves can guard 1 through 5. His problems, for my problems with Allen Graves were at Santa Clara this year, was really just keeping, not fouling so much. He had a really bad foul problem throughout the year. And then also his weight. I felt like he was a little bit heavy-footed, but that might have changed since it's been a couple months since they haven't played, and maybe he's worked on his conditioning, so that may not be a big problem. But I think Graves is somebody that can contribute to an NBA team. He just worries me with his foul trouble, and I'm hoping that gets cleaned up in the NBA. He's going to be playing better competition, so I don't know. But I think Allen Graves is somebody that can be a rotational player and defensively can be kind of just a really good, versatile bruiser. So I think the Hornets should go Allen Graves at this point. We'll end up seeing who else. And then you got Cameron Carr. They can go Chris Nack here. They just took Steinbach, so I don't expect them really to go Chris Nack. But I think Graves, Kareem Lopez, Cameron Carr, I think those are most likely the picks here for Charlotte. But man, I can't help but not to think about Detroit at 21 and LeBaron falling to Detroit at 21. Like I cannot not think about that. Like I'm kind of just dumbfounded that LeBaron is still on the board, but I'm dumbfounded just because of where I had him out of my big board. It's just interesting. I mean, it's just really interesting to see that the kid's still on the board. But yeah, Hornets at 18. I think you got to go with a little bit more defense here. If you're Charlotte, you don't need more offense. They have their three-headed monster in LaMelo and Khan and Brandon Miller. And I was on the record last year. I said that this reminded me of like a newer version and the Eastern version of Run TMC, which Run TMC is Tim Hardaway, Mitch Richmond, and Chris Mullin. That's kind of what I felt like LaMelo, Khan, and Brandon Miller were. So they got to go defense here, though. To me, Charlotte, you got to go defense again. I love their draft last year. I thought when I got my boy from Duke, Sion James, I thought that was a great grab by them in the second round. I thought in the first round they did a good job at grabbing Ryan Coltbrenner. I thought that was a really good grab by them. Charlotte had a really good draft last year. So I'm interested to see where they go this year. And even the year before that, they had a really good draft. So Charlotte's doing a pretty good job at drafting. I'm interested to see who they go here. Like I said, the Steinbach thing, I think kind of what my boy Kraft was saying earlier. Like, yeah, I think they're going to play him with Diabate. So I'm interested to see where they go here. They got to go defense, though, in my opinion. If you're the Hornets, you got to go defense. Looks like the pick is in. We're about to see where they go at with this pick. Let's see. Oh, wow. They went offense again. Another offensive player. They went Christian Anderson Jr. So I wonder what that means for a player like Kobe White then. Let me look at their contract situations, why they go through the little promo. What does that mean for a player like Kobe White? Because why are you drafting another point guard? And Christian Anderson's only 6'2", so that lets me know that Kobe White might be out the door. Looks like they're not going to be paying Kobe White. So looks like they're going Christian Anderson here, which again, if you're the Hornets, why are you not going defense? Why are you not going Allen Graves?
What's up with LeBaron Philon not getting drafted over Christian Anderson over LeBaron Philon?
Bro, I don't.
What is up? Did he just tank the interviews or something?
I don't know, but this is. I just can't believe the Hornets went offense twice.
How do you not go LeBaron? And LeBaron Philon is oh wait, I'm thinking of Malik Thomas. Never mind. Malik Thomas is signed to like LaFrance or something like that with LaMelo. But
this is something, bro. Like I just don't know why the Hornets went offense again. Like I just said, I think Kobe White is out of there though, bro.
That's what that means, I guess.
I think because why else are you drafting him? Why are you drafting Christian Anderson?
How tall is he? 6 foot?
6'2".
That might be generous, bro. He looks shorter than 6'2".
He's 6'2", bro.
6'2".
But Christian Anderson was a guy that I've actually talked about a lot on my podcast because he played for the German. He played for some German youth teams. He played for the German youth 16 and 17U. And don't get me wrong.
He's good.
Christian Anderson is he's a good backup player. He can score, he can pass, kind of a microwave. It just threw me off because the Hornets, I felt like should have went defense. But yeah, Christian Anderson at 18. And I mean, man, when we're looking at this big board, man, there's value still on this board, man. Allen Graves, LeBaron Philon, Chris Nack, Cameron Carr, Jaden Quennis, Isaiah Evans. Leak is still on the board. Joshua Jefferson is somebody.
See, bro, I assumed that all them players you named, I assumed that these guys were going to be gone. I thought Sturts was going to be on the board. Or Corey was going to be on the board.
Me too. Corey was somebody I had 14th on my big board. I thought he was going to slip back.
I had him 19 to Toronto, so I had him coming off now, but it's so much value now, bro. The second round is loaded because there's only so many spots left in this first round, bro. The second round is gonna be interesting.
Detroit. So actually,
trade.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now. Give me a second. Number 17, Abuka Corey, is going to Detroit.
Woo,
and that's what I said. I said him or LeBaron needed to end up in Detroit. I'm gonna have to call my OG. But so, Abuka Corey's going to Detroit. So at 21, Memphis
LeBaron Fineline. If it's not LeBaron Fineline, whatever, bro. Allen Graves, like you mentioned, still on the board.
So Memphis is trading 17, which is Abuka Corey to Detroit for 3 second-round picks.
So let me get this straight. Memphis has gained 5 second-round picks to end up taking LeBaron Fineline anyway.
Yeah.
So all right. If I'm Memphis, I'm rocking with that. If that's what they end up doing. This is the third time they've been on the board. So let's see if the third time they actually keep the player that's supposed to be going to them.
Ain't that this is going to be interesting. This is
crazy. If they end up taking picks for LeBaron Fineline anyway.
If they get away with it, it might be highway robbery. I ain't going to lie to you, bro.
That boy
We're going to see if it's him.
If they get away with this scheming, we will have to press charges on the Grizzlies for scheming, bro. We might have to press charges on the Grizzlies for scheming.
What if look, I got another one for you.
Let's go.
Because we're talking about LeBaron. I'm looking at this big board, bro.
Yep.
What if LeBaron...
Don't say San Antonio.
What if LeBaron falls to the Lakers at 25? And what if the Lakers don't sign Austin Reeves? What if they say, we'll do a sign and trade and we'll flip you for something else?
We'll send Austin to Detroit.
I'm just looking at this, bro. Like, I mean, I'm just. What if Minnesota? What if Minnesota trades up and go get him? They're at 28. Who's to say Minnesota don't look at this big board and it's like, yeah, we should trade up?
Pick up the phone, Minnesota.
What about Dallas? Dallas is at 30.
Cameron Carr makes a lot of sense for Dallas to me. I mean, they already got Max Christie.
They can still trade up and go get LeBaron.
They could still go get LeBaron. Oh, yeah.
Why don't they trade up? Boston at 27?
Boston at 27. LeBaron. Sheesh, bro, man. Sheesh. What they finna do? Draft Braden Smith over LeBaron next? Like, what are we doing?
I don't know. I'm surprised. I am surprised that LeBaron is still on the because I think LeBaron's a starter in the NBA.
I wonder, what do teams think that Bennett Sturts, Abuka Okori, Christian Anderson, what do those three guys do better, or what do they think will what is the separator between them and LeBaron Fineline? Because I've seen LeBaron Fineline play in the fastest paced offense in the country in Alabama. I think that also plays a reason as to why the defense might have slipped a little bit. Playing in the fastest offense on top of that is the leading scorer and is the quarterback of the fastest offense. Like you mentioned, against Michigan, he put up 35 in an elimination game, and that points had Michigan on the ropes. They started off so hot. It looked like Alabama was going to win that game. I think I was watching it live. At one point, I think it swung to like a 70-some% chance that Alabama was going to win just because how dominant they came out. And that was with LeBaron having a slower start. He didn't kind of kick it off to the second half and the back end of that game. Hold on, here we go.
Allen Graves from Santa Clara.
It's Allen Graves.
Solid.
Nice.
Solid.
Allen Graves, Scotty Barnes, Colin Murray Boyles. Defense in Toronto.
Oh, man.
Defense
they doubled down.
Defense in Toronto.
Doubled down. I talked about Allen Graves because I thought he was going to get picked earlier, but Graves is a versatile defender. I mean, I talked about how, to me, Allen Graves was a player that is going to be able to contribute day one. He reminded me of Al Horford a little bit. He has that Al Horford to him, that versatility. What he can do offensively and defensively, to me, is very similar to Al Horford. Just being a connector. His biggest problems, to me, is that he's somewhat slow-footed at times. Yeah. And that was because of weight, but we'll see if he gets his weight under control. And then also he had a problem with staying out of foul trouble, but we'll see if that's something that can be cleaned up. But that's a good role play right there. That's a kid.
That's a good tone setter in Toronto.
He can play for them next year in the playoffs. I like that pick for Toronto.
Could you imagine that? At one time, you got Scotty Barnes, Colin Murray Boyles, Allen Graves, Brandon Ingram. I mean, whoever you want to put at the fifth spot. But
they're gonna be able to. They're gonna
That's
be able
defense.
to switch 1 through 6,
bro, and that's in the East, bro. I think that's gonna be very beneficial in the East. The West is so loaded. I like to see these Eastern Conference teams start to like build.
I'm not gonna lie
something.
to you. Look, I ain't gonna lie to you.
What up?
Toronto next year,
The top 4
a
seed.
team that I think they could cause a lot of stress to is the Miami Heat.
They can fight. They can punch him back.
That front court now, you add Graves coming off that bench too. That front court is built to deal with Bam and Giannis.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
So just
You got
stay
3
with
to
me
4
now.
guys you can throw out there. Like you said, you're going to have 2 bodies on the floor at all times. That's assuming that Bam and Giannis are on the floor at all times. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
These are some
I
physical
like that.
dudes, man.
How much do you
These
think
are
that played into like this draft pick? Do you think teams in the East are like, okay, we gotta figure out what we gotta solidify our front court? We got Bam.
Oh yeah.
We got Bam and Giannis 4 times at minimum
Yeah.
this year. You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure. I think it does play a part for sure. And even think about it. Even a player like Allen Graves helps on a guy like Karl Anthony Towns. the
Yeah.
Knicks, the defending champ. Shout out to New York. You know? But
All right. I
Allen
like
Graves, man,
that. Like
that's
we
a good
said,
pick.
analytical
Allen Graves is a good pick.
darlings, got the size, shoots 40% plus from 3, 2 steals a game, a block a game. Don't get caught up in his role at Santa Clara. Jalen Williams, last year made an all defensive team coming out the same situation. So I don't get too caught up in these quote unquote smaller schools, especially in this NIL era, where you're going to find great players no matter where you're at for the most part. San Antonio has about 2 minutes until they make the 20th pick in this year's draft. They just came off of if I'm not mistaken, a gentleman's sweep in the NBA Finals. They got 1 game or 2 games in the finals.
San Antonio won. They lost in games 5.
Okay, so they're coming off of a loss to the Knicks in the finals. If we're talking about holes or fits, I'm interested to see what the San Antonio Spurs do. If I had to make a guess, I would say Kareem Lopez or Chris Sinak, just because I think that gives a bigger body on the floor with Wemby, a bigger body who will actually embrace being that bigger body. Kareem Lopez really embraced that physical style of basketball in the NBL. So that's what that makes a lot of sense to me. At the guard position, more so from social media, we've seen a lot of people wanting to move off of De'Aaron Fox. Could they go guard at that spot? We still have LeBaron Philon. At this point, this late in the draft, a good of a player as LeBaron Philon is, I think he is a good fit for the remaining 10 teams who have a draft pick. The Boston Celtics, the Los Angeles Lakers, Denver Nuggets, San Antonio Spurs. Somebody is going to get LeBaron Philon, and we're going to be looking back at this and be like, why did we let LeBaron Philon go to? And I'm just ready to figure out what team.
I'm surprised he's still on the board, but we're going to find out here. I mean,
what do you think San Antonio should do with this pick?
San Antonio. I think you go. Let me
Because
see.
Wemby didn't have no
Cameron
backups.
Carr. You go Cameron Carr here.
Do they go Jaden Quainance? One thing I noticed last year was Wemby got winded a lot, and that's due to the fact that
imagine they go LeBaron.
I'd be heartbroken, bro. I'd be sick. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh shit!
Did they go Henry Vassir from North Carolina? I know that's kind of a stretch, but that's just another big body.
I think if you're the Spurs, here you go. I think you go Chris Sinak Jr., Cameron Carr, or Jaden Quinnis. Is where I'll go in one of those 3 if I'm the Spurs.
My 3.
If you want shooting, yeah, those are my 3. I would say those 3.
I think my 3. I'm gonna go Kareem Lopez. I'm not counting LeBaron Philon because I'm gonna just say he's my top 3 until he get picked. I'm gonna go Kareem Lopez, Jaden Quinnis, like you said. I'm gonna throw a X factor out there. I like what Isaiah Evans could possibly bring to a team like San Antonio. I know Devin Vassell is there. I know Carter Bryant is there. Harrison Barnes could be on his way out soon. He's a great shooter, adds length. I don't think there's no such thing as having too many shooters in San Antonio or just on any NBA team. So I'm going to go Kareem Lopez, Chris Sinak in the front court. But if they, Isaiah Evans for my 3. Kareem Lopez, Jaden Quainance, Isaiah Evans. I think they lean front court, though, because I really think that the Spurs would benefit from Wemby similar to Chet now. Let's get height out of our mind. You could be 7'4" and play the 4 because Chet Holmgren's going to be 7'1" playing the 4. Evan Mobley is damn near 7 foot, plays the 4. For the Wemby likes to shoot the long ball. I think if you can have Wemby space the floor and have a guy who can kind of be that post in the paint. Kareem Lopez is a little shorter, but I think he's gritty enough to like accept that challenge if getting drafted by the Spurs or Christian Eck for that same reason. So we will. They have says the pick is in. After that, we got Detroit, then Philadelphia. LeBaron Philon,
It's not even Detroit. That's Memphis.
Oh, it is Memphis. Yeah, Memphis. Oh, yeah, because we was on the LeBaron to Memphis train. We're gonna push that narrative. Question. I'm not too familiar with that guy from Spain. Have you ever seen that guy, Sergio from Spain?
Oh, Sergio De La Raya.
What are your thoughts on him?
Sergio De La Raya, I think for me, Sergio De La Raya is somebody I'm trying to think I talked about him last summer. I might have talked about him last summer. I think so. He's from Spain. Can just do a little bit of everything with the ball.
Mm-hmm.
The ball in his hands, just solid. He's okay. He can shoot. The kid can shoot, and he defends too. Just a solid role player. I think he's a solid role player.
That's one guy I told myself I wanted to kind of watch him more, but I just never did, to be honest. I seen like highlights and stuff that you see on Twitter, but I don't think I seen enough to like give an opinion on him. So I was just wondering what you might have thought about him. He kind of light, bro. I seen he was like only like 170 pounds. 6'6".
Yeah, he's not. He ain't the biggest dude, you know. But man,
not too much to worry about.
Really just sitting there, man.
Yeah, bro. I don't.
This is a guy you've been. This was your guy,
bro.
This
before the draft,
if you would, he was better than Darius. This was
bro,
your
I
guy.
was. Hold on, let's see. San Antonio. They better not say LeBaron Philon, bro.
2026 NBA draft. The San Antonio Spurs select Jaden Quainton from the University of.
Woo! Woo! That's crazy. What are your instant thoughts? Jaden Quainton, San Antonio. Let me hear something. Then I'll follow up after you.
Hey, what I tell you, Houston, we got a problem.
Yes.
Oh Lord, I'll say this right now.
Yep.
The entire NBA better pray and hope that this kid has knee problems. They better hope that this is consistent.
Yep.
Because if this kid is healthy, the San Antonio Spurs,
that's scary, bro.
They're gonna put up. Look, they're gonna put up. I'm talking early 2000 defensive numbers. This kid, Jaden, for me, if he would have came out last year, to me, he was a top 10 pick. Coming out last year at the age of 17, defensively, what he was doing.
Yeah.
The entire NCAA, out of the entire NCAA, he led the NCAA in total stocks, which is steal plus blocks per game. The kid defensively is lights out. He's a defensive anchor. He's got great length. He's 6'10" with a 7'5" wingspan. He's physical. He's a bruiser. I think he's a mixture of Robert Williams and Ben Wallace. Jaden, his downsides, I will give you guys his downsides. Offensively, extremely raw. Like, passing him the ball out of the pick and roll, you got to give it to him closer to the basket because he doesn't really have much dribbling. He can't really dribble much, and he's not that good of a kind of connector or passer out of the pick and roll, so that's an area he needs to prove on. Free throw shooting is pretty bad. I mean, he's like Mitch Robinson bad. So that's something that also is a downside. And then, of course, the chronic injuries. At the end of the season at Arizona State, dealt with, I think, an ACL or Achilles injury. I think it was ACL. Yeah, and then at Kentucky, had pretty much the same problem with his knees. So those are some bad spots for him. And that's why he's going this slow. But if he's going to be healthy, oh, Lord, I'm just here to watch the show because I don't have a favorite NBA team. But him and Wemby, oh my Lord. Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. How you feeling? What you thinking?
Well, I think the Spurs OKC quote unquote rivalry just got a lot more interesting considering how they both approach this draft. Like you just mentioned, if by chance Jaden Quainton comes back 85% of what we think he can be, the San Antonio is going to show the league. Okay, so we've been seeing certain trends. The most recent one is Jalen Brunson bringing the small guard back. San Antonio getting Jaden Quainton, I think they're going to bring defense back to the league. And what I mean by that is, now we're not going to see it instantly, but you're not going to score 120 points, 110 points on the San Antonio Spurs when they're healthy. Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, Wemby, Jaden Quainton, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell. I mean, 1 through 9, 1 through 10, they defend. And like I mentioned right before that pick, Wemby didn't have the benefit of having a solid backup in the finals. I think that played a part of him being winded. I think that played a part of him you can only take too many shots from Mitchell Robinson and Cat without getting a break. And I think New York made it a thing to bang.
We'll kind of see what's going on. I didn't even realize my stuff was muted. We're gonna see what happens from here. I mean, it says two people's in the studio. I don't see them. We're gonna see what happens. Goes from here. So, man, my guy's stuff crashed on us. This is interesting. Let's see what happens. Can you add me back? Oh man, let me see. Oh, it won't even let me. I don't even see his stuff up here. I don't even see that option. Yeah, it won't even let me add you back. I can't even, because I'm not the host. Let me see. Let me see. I'm not the host. Oh man. Trying to figure this out. You guys stay patient, be with us, Looks like the pick is in for Detroit. We're gonna see who Detroit takes here. Let's see. Well, I guess it would be Memphis. It's not even Detroit. So Memphis selected Kareem Lopez. All right. Kareem Lopez going to Memphis. I'm trying to get him back into our live stream. I don't want to have to end it and then restart it, but that might be what we might have to do here to keep the ball rolling.
Yo.
Yes, sir. You back, man.
Bruh.
Kareem Lopez. Memphis.
Lopez. Huh.
I'm going to start live streaming. I'm about to add a couple other platforms. Right, so just be patient with me. What are your thoughts on Kareem Lopez? You want to go first?
Yeah, if I go out again, my Wi-Fi is having maintenance in this area, so they picked a great time to do that. Kareem Lopez, I really like the physicality that he's bringing to Detroit, a team that is predicated on physicality and banging you up, being rough. I think they led the league in fouls this year. That's a bad example of how physical they are, but kind of puts that in your head. Playing with Amen Thompson, Jalen Duren, kind of threw me off. I wouldn't have gone this route. I would have expected them to put somebody, I don't know, in the backcourt with Ja. I keep thinking it's going to Detroit. It's going to Memphis.
Yeah, it's going to Memphis.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't get that. I even with Memphis, I thought they would have went backcourt. LeBaron Philon is blowing me. Now, you told your OG that the Philadelphia 76ers at 22 have a legit shot. Dog.
Yeah, hey, does Philadelphia right their wrong after giving up Jared McCabe? Do they go get another guard in LeBaron?
Jeez. They should, bro, but if the league let LeBaron Philon, there's no way he falls to the Lakers or the Timberwolves. No way.
What if he ends up with what if the Knicks grab him?
I was thinking that too. I've been seeing a lot of Knicks fans, not that they determine who gets drafted. I've seen a lot of Knicks fans really high on Malik Thomas. Before, obviously, I don't think they would have assumed this many good players would have been available, though.
I know LeBaron is hot.
Bro,
I know
he's sick,
hot.
bro. And
He's
bro,
gotta
that
be
should be
hot.
scary for the league, bro. If he go to New York, it's a wrap. It's got to be a wrap.
Do you want to